Saturday, Get Smarter Saturday. And our intelligence will rise through the roof as we watch nothing but KSI music videos all day. Big ups, Lunchly, big ups, Prime. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to see you all. Welcome to the broadcast. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was helping get Ludwig to bronze, which we did. Mission accomplished. Ludwig to bronze, baby. Not as easy as it sounds. Not as easy as it sounds. Takes a little bit of effort. Takes a little bit of muscle. You got to put in a little work. But he was already bronze. He was the toughest iron I've ever seen. He was truly a man who knew his way around Iron City. But I introduced him to a brand new city called Bronzetopia. Harder to get to bronze from iron than it is to get to bronze to challenger. Yeah, exactly. They say it's like the first 100 viewers when you're streaming. That's the hardest ones. Getting iron to bronze is way harder than it is bronze to challenger. Way higher. Thank you for choosing the rest. It was fun. It's fun, dude. That's the sad fucking truth of it. That's the fucking deep, dark underbelly of League of Legends that no one wants to talk about. Even me. I refuse to talk about it. But the dark secret is that they made a game that's fun. That's the worst part of all. That's the worst part of all. Because then you get hooked. You get fucking hooked. Define fun? I mean, I had a blast, dude. When we had that 2v2 and I got the fucking double kill, I was my dopium receptors. My dopium? What is it? Dopamine and hopium. Yeah, you know what? I think that's what you get when you play League of Legends. You get dopium. It's like dopamine and opium, actually. It is dopium. Anyway, my dopium was going off the charts. It was going crazy. It was going nutso, and I had a good time, though. We had a blast. I mean, you know what's so funny is I'm saying all this, but had we lost, I'd be miserable. My mood would be 180. I would have not had fun at all. It would be League of Legends fucking sucks. So, really is a mixed bag. Wait, is my title still League with Luddy, or is it changed? Okay, good. Today it's Get Smarter Saturday, which means we're going to increase our intelligence levels. I'm going to change the timer, though, because I want to just talk to chat for a bit, answer some cues, see what's going on. Is there any crazy news to discuss, too? I feel like so much has happened. We did our Marketing Monday meeting today. I don't want to do anything that's already in that. Trump got shot at. I think you're a little out of date. New ChatGPT canvas and voices. Good. So now everyone that is e-dating ChatGPT can have better voices for their connection. Elon was at Trump's shindig. Oh, yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't see it. Did you see the BK Moldy Burger ad? That's so old. It's like 2017. Obama wore a tan suit. No, really? This one I know is not true. This one I know is not true because he would never do that. Hey, Atrioc, I've created this fictional character named Glizzy Stanicki, who my friends and I use as kind of a fall guy when things get out of hand. But now my friend's parents are throwing a big event and Glizzy Stanicki is supposed to make an appearance. Could you please step into the role? You already fit the physical description perfectly. So this is just the Wikipedia plot to Ricky Stanicki that you have replaced with Glizzy as a great joke. I just don't. I would help you out. I would fly all the way out. I would pretend to be Glizzy Stanicki. I'd try to help you. I'm just concerned you made it all up for a joke in chat. And like, I don't know about the rest of you, but I treat this chat thing as serious. Like, I assume that everything you guys are saying is literal verbatim truth. It would be crazy if some of you were just goofing off in chat. Like you were just saying things to be funny and you didn't actually mean it. They canceled a furry convention for hurricane victims. Are you upset about this? This is the least of the problem. That is the smallest, tiniest negative outcome from the hurricane. Who are the real victims? Abrasive only for the 21 months. Hey, Truck, I'm your long-lost Nigerian cousin. You need to transfer me $10,000 to unlock my bank account so I can return you 10x. This sounds truthful, and I believe you. I just don't think I deserve that much. So thank you for the offer, but honestly, give it to someone less fortunate. You know? Find someone who really needs the money and then scam them. I'm not scam. Find a chatter of mine and then... Hey, have you ever heard of Valorant? You can play as a rich guy who fights with credit cards. Is that real? Or you just mean that Valorant players spend a lot of money on skins? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Or is there an actual credit card warrior? Chamber fights with credit cards. Chamber credit card. I don't get it. Oh, he does have a card trick. Wait, he does do something. Interesting. I don't want to play as Chamber, dude. I'm a fucking... I'm... How do I not forget my character's name? How do I not... Phoenix. I'm a Phoenix main, dude. Oh, right. No, how do I even... What does he say? I haven't played since beta, bro. I don't know. Yeah. I'm going in. He was British. Something fire. Let's... Oi, bruv. I'm really burning up. And then then I'd flash my team. I'm all fired up. Let me Phoenix voice lines. Phoenix voice lines. Let me.
Going up. Just take a seat. I got this.
I got this.
Flash. 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 Flash.
There's me on my team. I missed the corner. Careful now.
Careful now.
All right. After today's league stream, do you really think Lud can get platinum? Yeah, I think he can, but he can't do it playing 1 day a week. He's gonna have to actually lock out some weeks. The only way to really get better is to put in a lot of hours consistently so you can see your mistakes and then improve. You can improve pretty fast. He's totally capable. It's not getting platinum is not some fucking crazy high arcane art that no one can do. It's just time. It's just time. How we feel about T1 BLG? I'm so excited! I'm so excited, and I'll be honest with you, chat, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit fucking nervous for my fucking goat Faker and Keria and Zeus and Owner and Guma and this beautiful team. I'm worried they are so good and they're just not, they just need a little bit more time to get going. They're fighting the fucking strongest Chinese teams right away. No shot T1 beats BLG in a best of 3. Nullsack, I'm remembering this. I'm remembering this for next stream. So on Monday, we're going to talk about this. And if you were right, I'm going to ban you. And if you were wrong, we're going to all make fun of you. So... So I just want you to... Here's your 2 options. It's a BL1. Aren't they BO3s once you get to the second one? Or am I crazy? Faker's the GOAT. He can't lose. Unfortunately, I've thought that in the past. I'm going to be honest with you. I've made that same argument for many losses over decades. I've said, oh, it's easy. Faker's the GOAT. He can't lose this finals or this finals, and then they lose. And so it's not an ironclad argument. Oh yeah, from the Discord notification straight to an ad for Joker 2. Dude, Joker 2 is such a colossal flop. It's crazy, which is good because I'm a certified Joker 1 hater. And now I feel more justified. I was a Joker 1 hater from the moment I walked out of the theater. And now Joker 2 is fucking tanking. Tanking. The ending? I don't know the ending. Joker 1, the movie is written like a Hollywood executive saw a school shooter's notebook and said, "Can I option that? Can I? I'll pay you $100,000 for the rights to that." And they just fucking put it into ChatGPT and spit out a fucking superhero movie. The fucking ethos of it is so bad. And then the second movie, I guess they made a non-incel version of that. So now that nobody cares. Like, at least the first movie was a god-honest love letter to incels. And the second movie, well, who's that for? Nobody. It's also a jukebox musical. That's they should. That's funny. They conveniently ignored that in the marketing. Yeah, it's a big floppy stinker. And I believe, call me crazy, I might be wrong. I believe Joker 2 had a higher budget than Dune 2. I could be wrong on this. But I believe that it had a higher budget than Dune 2. Its budget was 200 million USD. Now let's see what Dune 2 budget was. I told you, dude. I told you. I fucking told you. And the entire movie in Joker is like on 3 rooms in New York. No special effects. That's crazy. I saw people saying money laundering. I never say never. I think extremely unlikely. I think it's just good old-fashioned Hollywood hubris, foolishness. Also, I believe in Dune 2, my understanding is all the actors took they took percent deals. So that doesn't factor into the budget. So like if you pay Chalamet $300K instead of 10 million, but he gets a percent of the revenue, that doesn't factor into the budget. You have a smaller budget, but you're paying more. I think they paid all of the actors in Joker 2 up front, big cash salaries. The point, a movie like Joker 2 should not cost $200 million. That's so absurd. Can I see the trailer? It should cost $300 million. That's why I didn't go see it, because it looked too fucking cheap. Okay, anyone else with me? You saw the trailer and you're like, ugh, this looks like fucking like a school project. 200 million. It looks broke. Please spend $500 million in this movie, or I can't even watch it. Let's see. It's a video of you singing "Thick of It" by KSI. I'm going to ban you because you spammed it 400 fucking times, and now it's on you. Okay, you have to fucking put a video in chat that we can all watch of you in your room singing "Thick of It" by KSI, or you're fucking banned. I don't want to hear a fucking word out of you unless you sing for us, okay? Imagine he already has one ready to go. I'm so glad you asked. He's leaning into it. It's KSI's alt account. Do you think you'll ever do the Red recap again? Of course I'll do it again sometime, whenever there's a thing I really want to look at. But right now I think on the Reddit is like, it's probably fucking Atrioc, so, a glizzy meme, some guy saying I'm a secret closet Republican. Saw that one. Someone, this is so annoying because I get hate from both sides. Where's this fucking, this one right here. Okay? This better not be Atrioc making a shift that I think he's making. And their only evidence is the fucking thumbnail. But if you watch the fucking actual thing, I'm practically glazing Tim Walz. And so I got a bunch of people sending me fucking angry DMs too. You fucking libtard. I got those, and then I got this guy being wild. It's fucking annoying. I hate internet people. Honestly, I hate all internet people, especially political internet people. You're all dumb anyway. You don't know the fucking stances of your own party, either of you. You're all dumb. Holy God. None of you know anything, and you're all angry. It's so annoying. It's so annoying, dude. Talking about fucking entire personality is politics. Yeah. Just turn off the computer. Anyway, that was what's on the Reddit. So I didn't want to do a Reddit recap, if you understand. But I did want to talk about, did you see this actually disgusting statement? What is this? The CEO of Impact Plastics, where 6 workers died in the Hurricane Helene floods, has released a video. Instead of taking accountability, he says employees were told to leave the plant at least 45 minutes before the gigantic force of flood hit the industrial park. That's crazy.
I'm Gerald O'Connor, founder and president of Impact Plastics in Irwin, Tennessee. Due to death threats against me and my family, and to reduce the stress on local law enforcement that now needs to be focused on recovery operations, I'm with you by this video. The flood of September 27th took from our Impact Plastics family some great employees.
Oh, God. Please don't start by saying family, bro. Please don't start by saying family. They're not part of the Impact Plastics family. They wanted a fucking job, and you made them work right up until the fucking line of a hurricane hitting the factory. That's crazy.
One was a personal friend of more than 30 years of working together. We are heartbroken, as you are, about our loss, and will keep those who have now passed in our hearts forever. Following that day, I ordered an immediate review of the events and the timeline of what occurred that morning, beginning as soon as the last surviving employees and a count of those who are missing were addressed. With help from the National Guard, we were able to help secure the rescue.
Dude, so funny because it's also constantly mentioning the, you know, the National Guard and the rescue efforts, but this is the type of guy that fucking hates to pay 1 ounce of taxes. This guy, this guy in times where he doesn't need help from the fucking National Guard is tooth and nail fucking lobbying tax lawyers every fucking penny to make sure not a single one goes to his local community or rescue efforts. And now they're bailing his ass out after he fucking let his employees die.
5 of our employees by helicopter. Today, we share that.
Dude, yeah, you know this guy has fucking 6 PPP loans. This guy got ERC loans, PPP loans, 3. I bet you probably can look it up. He almost certainly does.
Preliminary report with the public. The findings are that employees were told to leave the plant at least 45 minutes before the gigantic force of the flood hit the industrial park.
Dude, just fucking say you're so sorry they're dead. This is insane. And also 45 minutes is not nearly enough time. A hurricane's coming, they just don't work that day. You don't make them work right up until sub-hour that a hurricane's about to hit the door. Hey, get in your cars and go. That's fucking crazy.
There was time to escape. Employees were not told
to escape. I gave them time to escape. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. Oh, man. I gave him a good head start.
At any time that they would be fired if they left the plant. After checking to make sure everyone was out of our plant and to rescue important files, I was one of the last people to leave the plant and luckily escape. To our knowledge, no one perished while on company property. My company will cooperate fully.
This is just crazy from a just a pure, even a cynical PR perspective. That's crazy. This is, who is won over by this at all? This doesn't like absolve you of legal liability, or there's no point to do this except you think it'll win people over. And who is gonna listen to this and be like, you know what? Damn, I'm on this guy's side. To my knowledge, nobody died while on company property. When 45 minutes before a hurricane, I said they could finally leave.
With the inquiries from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the Tennessee Occupation and Health Administration in days ahead. For now, our focus is on our employees. Thank you for your hard work as we all try to recover from this tragedy.
Elon fans would gobble this up. No. That's the worst part, is an Elon fan will watch this video and be like, this guy's a fucking clown. This guy's a joke. What a shithead CEO. But then if you put this same thing, AI voice Elon's face, they go, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. They like, why are you fucking bringing down my king? They'll get it 100% unless it's Elon, and then they just fucking take it, they gobble it up.
Fell in love with Irwin and the people back tragedy. I fell in love with Irwin and the people back in 1987 as a home for Impact Plastics. My plan is to build back our business in this town that I love as quickly
back better?
as
Bro sounded like a Biden supporter, fucking liberal.
we can, and offer good jobs again to the people who live there.
Wow, powerful stuff. Truly one of the greatest CEO speeches of all time. Here's the worker. Here's what the worker said. His employee.
What would you say to the company?
Why'd you make us work that day? Why? We shouldn't have worked. We shouldn't have been there. None of us should have been there. And that's what I should have said to him. Why did you make us work when you knew you were taking a statement, you were monitoring it? Why'd you make us stay and work?
Yeah, there's nothing funny about that. That's just fucking sad. It's insanely evil and it's insanely sad, bro. What a piece of shit. What a fucking piece of shit, dude. Impact Plastics got PPP loans from 3 separate incorporations totaling $2 million. Dude, I fucking would have guessed $2 million. I fucking would have guessed $2 million. They always have like 2-3 million. PPP loans are such a fucking scam. LeBron. I did LeBron it there, but I swear to God, I would have had 2-3 million. In a longer clip, they asked to leave but had to wait for approval. Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Shrug, I have a newfound respect for your job. I had to record a testimony for work and record a 30-second clip of myself. I watched it back and swear to God, I cringed so fucking hard I wanted to die. Dude, you know what's funny? All right, so it's not a job. And obviously streamers are easy. They're not as tough as the Marines. I get it. Whatever. I understand what the liberal media forces you to say. Okay? However, the first time I realized that there is something to it, to whatever this is when I hired that actor. When I hired that actor to play me on stream for one day, and bro choked up so hard that He was off camera so confident. This will be easy. I'm like walking him through the jokes. If you're ever in doubt, just say Glizzy or whatever. And he clammed up. His voice got all quiet. We had like 6 emergency things he could do. Like if he's like, I'm like, hey, you probably won't run out of banter or content, but if you do, you can pull this thing and we'll come and, we'll have Ludwig call in, we'll have Stans call in, we'll have me in your ear, he had to do all 6 of those things in the first 30 minutes. He just kept pulling the tabs, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? And then we had to end. I mean, the stream was supposed to last 3 hours. We ended after like 54 minutes. It was crazy. So and afterwards he was like, dude, I don't know what happened, but I got nervous. It was like you just so there's something to it. I mean, there's something to like being able to just talk. What vid was this? Ooh, YouTube frogs don't watch every live stream. Yikes. Yikes, dude. Can't imagine being someone who just occasionally watches my content through YouTube or other methods. Imagine not tuning into every single live stream as it happens. Yikes. We haven't made a YouTube video out of it. We might. We probably will, but we haven't. Did you make your editors work 45 minutes with the hurricane? No, I didn't. Okay. I made them work 10 minutes up to the hurricane. And then I gave them one more assignment and said, after that, you can go. Actually, I said they couldn't leave, but I gave them floaties. Yeah. I Amazon primed Quack some floaties and said, keep it going. Do not miss. Do not miss a deadline. Do you ever let your editors work from home? Can I say? I think Quack wouldn't mind that I say that he moved. I don't know. I guess I won't say it. I mean, I won't say where. I won't say where, but Quack moved. He moved to an area with incredibly low cost of living, and is now living fucking large, as far as I know. He's living fucking large. Pyongyang, yeah, exactly. He's living in North Korea. So I cut his paycheck. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I said, okay, well, if you're living in a lower cost of living area, obviously we're gonna do a small pay cut. Yeah. COL adjustment, exactly. It's only fair. It's only good. Hey, Atrioc, I'm in Florida and we're expected to be hit by a Category 3 hurricane in a few days. That being said, can I skip watching Marketing Monday to prepare? I'm sorry, no. I'm so sorry. I would love to let you go, but you just can't be missing. You do have to clock in for Marketing Monday. Like, if I'm going to be on time, you're going to need to be on time as well. We're a family here, and it's about respect. So, if you give me 2 weeks notice, I will still deny it, but like at least it'll go through the proper forms. So go ahead and do that. Go fill that out. And right before, I'll wait till right before though, so you still think you could be going and you can get your plane tickets and plan. And then right before I'll tell you can't. Hey, my tax return was used to pay off ancient 10-year-old student loan debt. Will this affect my credit score? Should be positively. Can I tell you, the student loan payment on-ramp has officially ended, putting some borrowers at risk of delinquency. It happened. It's here. It's now. The grace period for people who miss a payment expired this week. That means the 26% of you who have made no payments at all in the last year, it is now officially due. Half said they made some payments. So now a lot of people have $500 to $1,000 a month coming due. We're not going to find out about it, though, for 90 days. For 90 days, we're not going to know who's paying or who's not because of the delinquency or because of the fucking 90-day delinquency report. So, yeah. Actually, not till January. It's so annoying, dude. It's so annoyingly set up so that it won't impact till after the election. But we're not going to know until January about all the people that aren't paying now and how that's affecting their fucking finances. But extend and pretend. Yo, Atrioc, EU person here having a sleepless night. I've been an IT guy my whole life, late 20s. Learned to hate office culture over the last few months and years and decided to reboot my professional life. Holy shit, that shit is so hard. Huge respect for anyone who did that. Agree. Probably going to start an apprenticeship or maybe become a social media grifter. Dude, the first part of your message is like all just solid, like, you know, put the work in, respect the struggle, respect the grind. Any cool mental health tips? Feels like a whole professional identity has been falling apart. Cool mental health tips is probably not something. I played League of Legends all day. I have no great mental health tips. Yeah. Hobbies, working out, good sleep. Honestly, I mean, this is going to sound so cliche. Nobody wants to hear it. But I know this for a fact because I have had such a problem with it, you know? I fluctuate. When you have consistent good sleep, everything gets easier. Everything. Oh, timer. It's like if you were a person, imagine, even with all the problems that you're facing and the struggles, if you're a person who went to bed on time every night, woke up, got a little sunlight, maybe did something like working out, if you do that every day, nothing else changed, everything else is the same, you know your mood is going to improve. I'm not kidding, 200%. Everything becomes easier if you are able to do that. But it's not easy. It's not, I mean, I can't do it consistently, generally myself. I'm not trying to say it's fucking easy, but that is like the solution, I think. I think it helps so much. My professor just gaslit me for 20 minutes when I came to ask for help. What should I do? I honestly can't blame him as his pay is shit, but so is the quality of the class. What do you mean he gaslit you? Explain to me how you asked for help from a professor and he gaslit you. And then you called him broke. I said his class sucks. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you drop the class if you have to. Hey, Big A, I'm 17 years old, and about 2 years ago, you sparked my interest in economics. I sparked your interest in economics at 15 years old. You should play Roblox. You should be watching fucking the Minecraft Parkour Civilization. It's going to be tough. You're going to be in high school talking about demand curves or something, and that's not the curves you need to be focused on. Have you seen the audit fraud and accountancy going on? In general or what? You mean in general? Like, what's your example? There's audit fraud. I mean, yeah, companies have had audit fraud, but is there a company you're talking about or what? Ernst & Young? Let's see. Ernst & Young audit fraud. Ernst & Young is paying a $100 million fine after all of its auditors cheated on ethics exams. This is not recent, though. This is like over a year ago. But yes, they cheated on the ethics exams. That's where you really don't want to cheat, just because of the irony. That's a tough one. Hundreds of the firm's workers for 4 years. So what? They had like fucking mass cheating? It's simply outrageous that the very professionals responsible for catching cheating cheated on ethics exams of all things. That's so bad. That's so bad. So it's like a fucking frat. They just passed out the answers. They received an internal tip about it, but they did not disclose it to investigators. Classic. They received the answer key. No, literally. Well, it is like a frat. They just gave the auditors the ethics answer key. That's so funny because these ethics exams are fucking baby food easy. They're baby food easy. I had to take one at NVIDIA. It's always like, hey, let's say you're shipping GPUs through India and somebody offers you a massive bribe to expedite the process. What do you do? And it's like, answer A, take the bribe, smiley face. Answer B, don't take the bribe. Answer C, report it to your manager. And you know what? It's always answer C, by the way. Every single one, it's like, report it to a higher up. And then some fucking guy here is sweating. Look at the answer key. Like, fuck. Do I take the bribe? Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba. Big A, if you really tried, how long do you think it take to get diamond or master's in law? Don't try to bait me like Ludwig, okay? Do not try to bait me. I have been masters. I have been diamond. I have been diamond many times. Can do it if I wanted to. Don't want to do it. Not going to do it. I have no interest in ruining my life. I will play a bunch of League, I think, to do a pop-a-thon too. I'm thinking about doing that. Probably to grind with Lud at the same time. We're gonna push for his goal, and I'm gonna play and try to get a goal myself. Maybe just plat. But I'm not gonna set a crazy goal that requires me to fucking deeply alter my lifestyle. You were willing to do multiple 80-hour weeks in League? No, I didn't say that. You misheard, because I will not be doing that. I will not be fucking doing that. There's been a lot of recent discourse on audit reforms in accountancy. Ernst & Young failed to spot very apparent fraud going on for 7 years. There's a $2.7 billion claim against them. They literally did not take the general ledger for 7 entire years. Yeah, these firms are paid for by the companies, and the companies sometimes don't have an interest in getting real, solid, approved accounting. So the incentives are bad. It's the same thing in the Great Financial Crisis. The auditors are not actually independent, and they have a financial incentive to do whatever their boss says, whoever the person paying them says. Especially if they're greedier or they're losing of the big four. The ones that aren't like the top, if they're losing a little market share, they have incentive to cheat a little more to catch up. In disguise, think of the prime. I mean, listen, there's going to be some fucking fraud in some of these AI companies too. Some of this, circular revenue booking. All this stuff is going to be, when the tide goes out, a little more obvious. Nuclear engineering student here, and I was wondering if you've seen any of the recent future changes. Yeah, we're talking about it on Monday. I'm very interested in all the nuclear stuff that's happening around tech companies trying to get more energy for their data centers. Yeah, I'm talking about it on Monday. We worked on it today. the easiest bullshit exams are the ones with the most cheating. It's easy to justify it to yourself because you'd probably be able to pass anyway. So saving the extra 30 minutes or so avoiding studying is considered not a big deal. Yeah, that makes sense, but you still shouldn't cheat on an ethics exam, right? It's just fucking like you can't see the spiritual irony of being like, I am looking at a fucking ethics exam cheat sheet. It's as I try to become a fucking CPA, it's just not. I've been absolutely crushing it at work, and I have the numbers to back me up. But I recently started, and I'm getting paid like shit. The owner's notoriously greedy and stubborn. How do I go about earning my worth? What are you, an Atrioc editor? No, the key is you have to find another job. You can walk yourself in circles and get angry and get stressed trying to figure out how to convince this one guy to give you a raise or get you an option. What you got to do is get another job. And you can leverage that job to get a raise. I helped someone do that recently. And they got the other job. They didn't actually want the other job, but they came back to the original job and said, hey, I have this offer for this amount of money. I like working here, but like I needed to be thinking my financial future. If you match it, I'm happy to stay. And then they said it and they got the job. They got the fucking, we did it and it worked. Wait, I'm sorry. Do you have any recommendations for proposing to my AI girlfriend? I brought her a ring, but I'm afraid the pics don't do it justice. Yeah, I don't know. Buy her a red ring of death. That's funny. Yeah, just ChatGPT generate a bigger ring. Did you see the supermarket duopoly is being sued? Good. It's fucking crazy. Although I'm a Woolies man till I die. Woolies! Die hard. Greatest grocery store on God's green earth, dude. And I hope to God they never get broken up. I hope to God they stay fucking crushing Kohl's. Not Kohl's where it's at. Fuck the duopoly, but also fuck those Kohl's a little bit more. Exactly. Exactly. My goat being a Woolies enjoyer. Oh, always have been. Nerf wire, they have the 27 months. Hey, Big A, I'm paying off student loans for an esports diploma. And I don't think it made me any better at any esports skills. Marketing Monday taught me more than my diploma ever did. Bro got one of those esports diplomas. You know it's bad when like the poli-sci majors like shaking their head, like feeling bad for you. Oh damn. There, but for the grace of God, go I. Esports major, bro. That's a tough one. That's a tough one just because, you know, if you're applying for an esports job, they don't even, it's not like it's an extra bonus for them. And then if you're applying elsewhere, like there's plenty of managers who'll actively be hostile towards you if they see that. So it's really tough. It's unfortunate. But you know what? I mean, listen, I feel you, bro. I was a fucking massive esports fan in college. I was like super passionate about it. I did all this extracurricular esports stuff, esports club. And all I want to do is work in esports. So I feel for you, bro. It's a tougher time right now. But if that's your true fucking dream passion, maybe right now you got to fucking find something else while you wait, but go after it. Okay. It's not, esports will not disappear. I promise you that. The industry's in a terrible spot right now, but it will have a rejuvenation because the audience is still there. But people have to figure out how to make it work. They got to find a way to make money off of it. Who's even qualified to teach that? Yeah, it's crazy because like who taught the class? The esports class. And what do they teach? Honestly, I'd love to interview a little bit. I'd love to know more about what classes you had. And like what your degree was about and what you had to do. It's kind of interesting to me. If your prof wasn't Hotbid, yeah. I mean, if you learn from, there's people you could learn from, but even still, like, a lot of those people left the industry. Like Hotbid left esports. He's not gonna. If it's about event management, yeah. But then, like, the problem is, if you graduate with a degree in event management, that could work. That's a real thing. That's what Rochelle, Stan's wife, does. She puts on galas for nonprofits. It's a tough job. It's a stressful job, but she's really good at it. If you are good at event management, a lot of companies need that. They have to put on events. They need someone to do it. But if it says esports, whatever, just most people in the position that are able to hire you, all like the boomers that have the money, they're not going to get it. They're not going to like it. They're going to be hostile. Event management's great. If you should just change it, honestly. On God, I think it wouldn't even be bad to lie. I think you should just say you were an event management graduate. Just put on your resume, no cap. Because I just think it would be so hard. Unless you're applying for an esports job, then you can use it. But even still, I don't know who the fuck's hiring at esports right now. I really don't. I go to these events, these like Travis Gafford, esports guy. He'll put on these industry events where we all play Magic and hang out. It's like all esports guys or gaming guys or tech guys. Not all guys, but esports people. And they're like held at 100 Thieves or Team Liquid. And like a lot of people there have either been laid off or quit and are looking for work in esports, and it's a fucking struggle. And a lot of them are like, you know, I got 4 years at TL, 3 years at Cloud9, 2 years at 100 Thieves. Like they're fucking, they got good resumes and they're fucking hunting. So it's like it's not a good time to be like, I went from the screen to the ring to the pen. What should I do next? I think you should be the king and wear the crown. That's your bling. That's what I would say. That's just my thought. Just sort of my fucking, you know, off the top of my fucking dome. Wasn't there a guy supposed to sing Think of It? I asked him to sing it and he fucking disappeared. I asked this guy to sing Think of It and he fucking disappeared. Just fucking disappeared. Maybe he's recording it. Maybe he's recording it. God willing, he shows up, puts his money where his mouth is. Oh, he resubbed and you thanked him for it? That's the fucking hustle, bro. You know what's really funny? You guys are chatters are a bit masochistic because I'll find out that the people I pull up on stage and like really fucking lay into, you flash forward a month, they're like the diehard sub. They like fucking, after that, they stick around. Like they'll fucking sub the next day and it's wild. Like I always think that they are the ones that just leave. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. But then they're the ones that go crazy. They stick around even farther. Who Dat's the prime example? Who Dat is a good example. Big A, is Astrobot still in the plans? Yeah, it's still in the plans. Cap? I don't fucking know. I don't know. What kind of plans you want me to talk about? Dude, we're on the grind set, okay? I want you to know we're on the grind set. We have been hitting every single day of stream. We have a Marketing Monday on a Monday. We're going to have another one. We're going to have our first back-to-back Monday Marketing Mondays in a fucking Wolf's Moon age. That's a unit of time. All right? So just fucking chill. Chill. We're on time and under budget. So We're moving into a good era. Now, tonight, I was going to do Get Smarter Saturdays, but I also theoretically could do best tweets because I've been sent a best tweets document, a round 2 attempt from Liminary. Liminary, by the way, truly shit the bed on the last one. I shouldn't open with that. I shouldn't open with that because that's a bad vibe. That's a bad vibe. I don't want to. That's a bad vibe. You don't want to open with that. But new tweets. I'm jump off cliff. So we could do that. We could do that. We could do that. You did the wrong month, dumbass. Yeah, I should do the shit month, huh? I like that there's 2 categories. One is the good tweets. The other one's the shit ones. No, it's good. No, it's good. I'm glad there's a fucking big list of shit tweets. Don't go to that one. Don't read those. It's about the judgment, okay? Vibes seem good in here. They are actually good. The vibes are good. The vibes are good. Shin Splints, thank you for the 50 months. Oh, by the way, if you are interested in YouTube content, we uploaded a video about the Magic the Gathering situation today. It is 6 out of 10, doing pretty well. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Might need a different thumbo. Briggs, thank you for the 37 months. Thank you, Briggs. Appreciate it. You know what's a good Smart Saturday? We got a lot to watch. Actually, there's a great video I wanted to watch that I think we could start with. It was called. It was about tech workers. It had like 1 million views in a day. What was that? Tech workers. What was that video? Oh yeah, here it is. 6 days ago. Where are the laid off tech employees going? CNBC Marathon. We're going to start with this. Before we get into it, let me explain what Get Smarter Saturdays is. Every one of you has a smooth brain, myself included. And there is only one way to get smarter in this world. Only one way to wrinkle the grooves in your brain and become like Aristotle. Do what he did. Watch YouTube videos passively. That is how people get smarter. Einstein did it. Okay. Immanuel Kant did it. Okay. They all do it. They put on YouTube videos and they stare at them and they type chat messages. And that's how they get smarter. So today, the rules of Get Smarter Saturdays are quite simple. Rule number 1, the video cannot be too long. Rule number 2, the video cannot be too boring. Rule number 3, by the end of the video, we have to have learned something, which means there must be something to learn in the video. It can't be pure entertainment. And if we do all of these things and we watch YouTube together, we're going to come out of this Saturday with a wrinkled brain, a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, and we'll go into the week, next week, with some new facts to share, some new neurons that connect. And suddenly, over the course of your life, build a firing group of synapses, a neural net, a web that can compete with AI, which you're going to have to do for your jobs if you're young. Okay? So, let's start with where are laid off tech employees going?
The tech sector shed more than 386,000 jobs in 2022 and the first half of 2023.
80% of Twitter either left or...
Every single Silicon Valley engineer is becoming a fisherman. Every single one is becoming a construction worker / farmer. They're building with their hands. They're getting out to the field. They're tossing the keyboard in the trash, and they are becoming a strong, powerful, independent blue-collar worker.
or quit or was pushed out, laid off, whatever you want to call it, and yet the website still runs.
Even though 2/3 of tech workers are men, more than half...
Hate that fucking argument. Yeah, Twitter still runs, bro, but they kicked out 80% of the workers and they lost 80% of the value. 1-to-1. It is literally 20% as valuable as it was. So what do you... It's more unprofitable than ever. Like, it's not like it was a massive success. It wasn't like it just fucking this brilliant genius move that saved the company. The company's in a terrible spot.
Those laid off in 2022 and 2023 were women.
Approximately 50,000 H-1B holders lost their status due to unemployment.
Over the course of this year, Canada is going to be developing.
I'm pausing again. H-1B is something I'm only now learning more about. I knew about it at NVIDIA because it was a big part of. I mean, NVIDIA has a lot of H-1B visas, but it's only now like the scope of it is fully aware to me that the people on an H-1B visa working at a company are truly captured. They have no option. They really can't negotiate well for salary. They can't do anything because if the company decides to let them go or fire them, they have to leave the country. So they're totally fucking locked into that job. Even if it's like a nice higher end job, it's so much more of a desperation moment for them. And like layoffs are even scarier to them because it could mean like being kicked out of the. It's not a great system, especially for like, you know, incredibly talented high skilled workers that are like benefiting the economy from day one, totally net gain. It's just like it's just incredibly bad.
A specific stream for some of the world's most highly talented people.
I've heard from some people that the higher paying jobs, the salary can be 25 to 30% lesser. Yeah, they can just pay them less. They can pay them less because like, if they don't take it, then they can't live here. They get kicked out of where they're living. So it's fucked up.
People that will be able to come to Canada to work for tech companies, whether they have a job offer or not.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Thanks for meeting with me and Rosie.
Sorry to pause again, but we just showed this woman. This is the one from Bargaining Monday. She's the one that recorded herself. I was talking about the laid off influencers. These are I mean, what's funny about this woman, Brittany, is that, I mean, look, she gets fired. It's not cool. It's a layoff. It sucks. But she only worked there for like 5 months, I think. And then she made this whole thing on TikTok about like, it wasn't like a massive.
We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met Cloudflare expectations for performance.
Cloudflare.
We decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there.
This is a viral video posted by Brittany Peach, a former employee of Cloudflare, a San Francisco-based tech company. The video posted on January 2024 and got so much attention that it may have kicked off a new subgenre of viral video. Watch this person get laid off in real time. The tech industry is again seeing widespread layoffs after a rough 2023.
LinkedIn just laid off nearly 700 employees. Qualcomm is planning to cut more than 1,200 jobs.
Google, Amazon, and Snap are among the companies continuing to downsize.
And the start of 2024 seems no different as layoff announcements, especially in the tech industry, continue to make headlines.
Units affected.
This is Squeak's erasure, by the way. It's fucking insane that Squeaks gets zero mention in this fucking 40-minute video about the true pioneer of laid off influencers.
Also include hardware, engineering, ad sales so far. Last night, CEO Sundar Pichai told his workforce to expect more cuts.
An Amazon spokesperson did confirm those layoffs. The head of Prime Video and MGM saying in that memo that the company is making some of the cuts to prioritize investments for the long term.
Layoffs are also plaguing industries like
Amazon
healthcare,
can invest for the long term.
However, the tech industry is the one that's been dominating the headlines.
This layoff and everything that's happened in tech, I think is pretty eye-opening. You know, like you can have your dream job, you can have your, it's my dream to work for Microsoft, or it's my dream to work for AWS. And you get there and you realize, okay, it's just like any other job. It's a great place to be. There's a lot of great perks, but at the end of the day, they can get rid of you like that.
The layoffs to the start of 2024 signal a dramatic shift in the tech industry. We're going to continue.
Whose dream is to work for AWS? You don't see little school children dreaming of one day helping make Andy Jassy and Jeff Bezos more money by lowering cloud compute costs? That is every fucking child's dream. That's how they know they're having an impact.
Continue to see layoffs happen as the future of work has changed, as the future of technology has changed, and
yeah, but it's not that crazy because AWS is just a good paying job. It's just a good paying Amazon job. Like, maybe not AWS specifically, but like if you ask a lot of graduating classes in college right now, their dream job would be somewhere in FANG, you know, or one of the big tech companies.
as investors, the appetite for risk and growth versus profitability has dramatically changed as well.
So why are big tech companies and other industries laying off tens of thousands of workers at a time when the U.S. economy looks strong on paper?
Good question. Good fucking question.
The start of the COVID-19 pandemic was a dire economic event, at least at first. The tech industry, though, boomed. In 2020, tech's top 7 companies added $3.4 trillion in value. The Fed's emergency moves to bolster the pandemic-hit economy, like cutting interest rates to near zero, helped boost tech stocks. This move helped the tech industry to expand.
Damn, look how much fucking... You can't even see it. I'm covering it. Look how much Zuckerberg hired. They fucking like doubled the company size in 2 years. That's crazy. There's just no way that can be run efficiently. I remember that happened at Twitch. I mean, when Twitch went from 100 employees to like 1,200 employees so fast, and nobody even like knew who their manager was. Everything was so mismanaged, and there was so many people that didn't have any idea what they were doing in positions of leadership over new people who didn't know what they were doing. It was true chaos. I mean, it was like a total... on
hiring spree.
Amazon's a bit different because like Amazon's the second largest employer in the whole country, and like, you know, over 1.2 million of these or whatever is warehouse workers. So it's like it's scaling up like a you know, more of like a blue collar 9-to-5 type job. They're trying. It's not the same thing as like scaling up their fucking white collar offices org chart where they have to figure out who reports to what and who does what and whose jobs make sense, and you end up with a lot of
as people were confined to home. Amazon added the most number of employees during this golden period, peaking at 1.6.
Was it chill to be a worker during the chaos at Twitch? Yeah, it was, because everybody that got burnt out by it just would play Melee for 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. During the peak of Twitch chaos, we had a group of like, I'm not kidding, 12 people that would be like constantly taking 2-hour lunches to play Melee, which is like the ultimate. But what I've learned since then is like, if that's happening, you should know this good time won't last. Now that I'm a little bit older, I just thought, you know, this is the way it is. This is awesome. You should know that like, this is a sign that things are about to crack down. Like Amazon's going to step in. Anyway, I didn't truly understand it back then, but now I get it.
Million employees in 2021.
If you rewind before the layoffs, all the tech companies were really putting an emphasis on growth.
The fruits of success contain the seed of decay. Did you invent that? That's a beautiful line. There's no way you wrote that. The fruits of success contain the seed of decay. Bro's spitting. Bro's got bars on bars. I'm going to Google it. I'm sorry. I hate to give you so much credit before I know. The fruits of success contain the seeds of decay. There's a similar quote, but not exact. I think you have an official bar. Every fruit of success carries within it a seed of destruction. Is the closest we can get. But that's like, I mean, it's very close. It's a slant rhyme. But I'm going to give you an official bar. It's different. It's different.
And so capital was really cheap, you know, so you could get loans, you could get money, access to capital was really affordable. And then you see as interest rates went up and you start to see that growth in headcount didn't translate to growth in profitability, and access to capital became quite a bit tighter. You saw many companies start to hit the panic button. And so we saw these thousands and thousands of people get laid off all at once. And that was quite a shock.
80% of Twitter either left.
They're going to do the same thing with AI. They're spending so much fucking money on AI, and if it doesn't turn into profitability, they're going to have to eventually hit the panic button. They're going to do that. It's the same situation. You cannot dump billions and billions and billions and not get revenue increases. And if you don't get them, then...
or quit or was pushed out, laid off, whatever you want to call it, and yet the website still
I was looking... I'm sorry, I'm pausing a lot, but I have a lot to say about this. I have a lot to say about this whole thing. I was looking at a bunch of, like, not the big AI startups. Not like... You guys know OpenAI and Microsoft and NVIDIA and Google and the really big AI companies. But I was looking at all of, like, the mid-tier ones, the unicorns, and it's like there is 20 AI companies that have a combined value of like 200 billion. It's like 10 billion, 15 billion, 5 billion, 2 billion. Combined value of 200 billion, and all combined, they make about $200 million. They're worth 200 billion and they make 200 billion. So like some of these companies are going to fail. There's a lot of like way overvalued shit. Like they just don't, you know, it's like the .com era. I mean, some will be great. Some of these companies will be the next Amazon or whatever, and they're going to be fucking huge. But a lot of them are going to just fail. They don't have any revenue.
Do you think people are looking at Elon Musk and thinking, you know what? Do we really need all these people?
I do give Elon Musk credit for this, for kicking off and making this acceptable with Twitter, but a lot of the big companies decided to get lean and efficient. And you know, this is where you kind of start to see the incredible leverage of what these tech platforms really have, which is they didn't need those people, right? They were hoarding the talent. It was an option bet, and it was a cheap one for them.
Yeah, I ask every tech CEO, do you take inspiration for what Elon does? Yeah. And they'll say on the record, no, we don't. We would never want to do that. But you know, in the group chats, they're all like, wow, that was an amazing move.
Most miserable fucking group chat. Just a group chat of a bunch of tech CEOs glazing Elon and then firing their employees. That's fucking...
The artificial intelligence hype of 2023 is starting to have real-world effects in 2024. Major tech CEOs are doubling down their investments in AI. In January 2024, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced his plans to build an artificial general intelligence known as AGI.
Hey everyone, today I'm bringing...
Oh my god, it's so lifelike. Dude, look how good the AGI is. It's almost like a human. Not quite though. I mean, it's a little too fucking robotic and the eyes are too weird, but like it is, he's almost made it. It's uncanny valley for sure.
Closer together to support our long-term goals of building general intelligence, open sourcing it responsibly, and making it available and useful to everyone in all of our daily lives.
So
all this investment in creating AI jobs, but at the expense of others. The recent report from Indeed shows that the number of job posts containing Gen AI terms has been surging.
So there's about a 500% increase in the number of jobs that mention generative AI. There's about a 6,000% increase in the demand from job seekers for these jobs. But there still is, I think, a mismatch the other way in that the total amount of demand for AI talent far outstrips the number of AI professionals.
Every company in every industry is trying to figure out how to use AI in everything they do. I mean, AI is going to create a lot more jobs as well, but at the same time, I would say that there will be jobs that will be automated.
So you think AI has already hit the business effectively?
Oh, absolutely. Especially in the tech sector. I mean, they've been talking about it for years. Now the fact that you have more companies moving toward artificial intelligence, and they're looking at the fact that as opposed to paying somebody $200,000, $300,000
Like his tie.
a year to do the job, I can actually use artificial intelligence to do the job that they used to be able to do.
This AI thing is real, it's not going away, and they can't have people holding them back. And so what they've been doing over the past year is finding places within the organization
We have not watched
that
this.
they can trim so that they can get to a pace where they're shipping faster. So taking managers out, and then engineers who are like skilled for a previous generation of technology, they're also leaving to make room for people who are more skilled for artificial intelligence.
AI is definitely playing a role in the layoffs that we're seeing. Automation has increased efficiency for some of the workers who are able to utilize AI to make marketing decisions, to analyze data, to serve customers more efficiently and effectively. So AI is...
I don't who is using it for marketing decisions, and what would it say? I mean, I could see them using it as like, I don't know, for fucking, how do I market my product? These people's backgrounds are pissing me off. Why? The books? What's wrong with having books as your background? I'm sorry. Is there a problem with having a bookshelf as your background to show off your literacy? What could be what is the problem with that? Fake ass unread books. I've read every fucking book on this shelf. Every fucking one. Shows you're into the wrong kind of paper. I'm sorry. So you would prefer if instead of a bookshelf of books, it was a bookshelf of money? I'm just stacks of paper back there. Wouldn't that be a really obnoxious flex?
Is a paradigm shift that is changing the way people work and changing the priorities of tech companies.
Right now, I don't see that there's a big impact from AI in these tech layoffs. Some businesses have maybe cited that they're trying to, shift priorities.
Yeah, that's what I think. This guy's more right. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know that AI is making some jobs more productive, and some jobs could be automated theoretically if it was like totally doable by ChatGPT. But there's not a lot of like, I'm just trying to think of like a job that is purely replaceable by current AI. Purely. Streamer, for sure. Streamer. I think it's like entry-level law, where they do a lot of like summarization. There's some, email type jobs that probably could be, but I think some companies are saying they're doing layoffs for AI, and they're doing layoffs because they need to cut costs. Like, it sounds better in the press release of like, hey, we're AI future forward, and we have a real good plan for this, and that's what we don't need. And it said it's like, fuck, we're just
priorities, and they're letting some employees go to focus more energy on some of these generative AI tools. But I think it's important to say that that's very...
Oh, I want to say sorry. Some journalists have been 100% laid off. There's a lot of websites that were already slop journalism, and now they're slop AI journalism. And you can't even hardly tell a difference, but they replaced the humans. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, Dexerto type beat, where it's just like an AI summary of fucking Financial Times. No, not Financial Times, bro. Everyone there is a human. Dude, it's so funny. Financial Times. I had someone. I think Financial Times is pretty good at giving a solid, high-level overview of the situation. Solid, pretty unbiased take. But there's people who are like super hardcore, never tax me, whatever, who call the FT the lefty. And it's just funny because on the front page of my FT today is an article that says, "Don't trust liberals." It's like right here staring me in the face. So it's like it's just funny because I just think I think they're pretty honest in general, and so they're getting it's an opinion piece, but it's funny it's in the front.
Different than saying that companies are, well, we can let people go now because, you know, generative AI and all these tools are taking jobs.
The tech industry.
Bro printed out his For You page. Funniest way to describe a newspaper. Yeah, dude, I have a print version of my For You page. It's actually, I just wanted to hold it, so I printed it right out of the printer. I just can't. How do I scroll this thing? Stupid asshole. The end of cushy tech jobs? Bro, you know what I'm going to miss? Are those day in the life TikToks.
Industry
like sharing.
Sorry, I don't want to move past this. Someone in chat said, I once deadass tried to pinch to zoom on a book. Sorry, I just didn't want you to let that slide. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Your brain is cooked like a fucking fried egg. You deadass tried to pinch to zoom a piece of paper.
Of things like one's
going to be the new normal.
Data suggests
That
an
was not
influx
the
of layoffs in the tech industry starting from the second half of 2022 and peaking in 2023. Some non-tech sectors are also seeing widespread layoffs. A prime example is UPS. The courier giant raised eyebrows by announcing 12,000 job cuts in January. The media industry isn't immune to layoffs either. In 2023, the industry shed over 20,000 jobs. And 2024 looks no different as big names like Paramount, NBC, Sports Illustrated, the Los Angeles Times all have announced major job cuts in early 2024. The banking sector is also not shying away from cutting jobs. Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank are some of the big names that have already announced their layoff plans for 2024. It's worth noting that even though these mass layoffs continue dominating headlines, the labor market still seems strong. The U.S. economy added 353,000 jobs in January, much better than the Dow Jones estimate for 185,000 jobs,
Great.
with the unemployment rate held at 3.7% against the forecast for 3.8%. Experts are divided on whether the recent tech layoffs would trickle down to non-tech sectors.
Looking at the current job market right now, there's no evidence that we're going to see any trickling. Obviously, you know, kind of the jury's still out. It's still early to tell. But it's interesting as we look back at 2023. 2023 was a year of a lot of layoffs in the tech industry, and we didn't see.
This guy be a great streamer. Something about him. This guy playing, I don't know, Super Auto Pets. This guy on Balatro, dude, fucking tearing up the charts.
See any of that trickle out. Even within the tech industry, which is usually, the government usually defines it as the information sector, we didn't see a very high layoff rate.
Get this guy OBS
with
of binding
companies announcing layoffs, but those companies kind of carried an outsized share of the media, because then once we rolled it all up, there was maybe about 1% of employment that was being laid off. So really, ultimately, the overall rate of people losing jobs to layoffs remains near historic lows.
It hasn't yet trickled down to the rest of the economy, as we're seeing the stock prices really high, unemployment fairly low. But at some point, if this continues, both companies and individuals are going to have to cut back spending, and that has consequences that reaches far beyond the tech industry.
Nah, it won't. Oh, where they went. Okay, this is the fucking meat and potatoes. Where did they go?
The tech sector shed more than 386,000.
Bro, we need to stand against the companies that sympathize with them. Nah. The companies have our best interest at heart. Okay? You should find the richest company in your town and give them a tip. Wait, this is over a year old? This is old? No, it's not. Oh my God, dude. This was published in August of 23? I don't care anymore. I was wondering, dude, why? I was like, wait, this is it's fucking, the unemployment rate is up from here. It's at fucking, it was at 4.3 and then down to 4.1. Then I was like, what? I was thinking, I was like, dude, why do they use such an old, it's 3 videos crammed together. Okay, so this was published when? Oh, let me see. Let's get to the bottom of this. They put it all together. Okay. I see. Well, in that case, we just finished part 1 and that's enough.
The tech sector shed more than 300
layoffs remains near historic.
No. We just
it
was perfect. We perfectly wrapped. That's part 1. That's the full video, and that part was published in February 24. Okay, beginning of this year. We're not going back to August. We're not going back to November. So we'll call it there. That's perfect. That is perfect. That is a fire. We had a lot of discussion on it. I was very interested, but I'm not going to go watch a fucking video from August. So much has changed, bro. I don't know what they're not going to. Dude, back in August, most of the people that were like laid off from tech jobs were still deep within their very cushy severance packages. So many of them took 6 months to chill. Now they're like in the part where they're kind of panicking and like trying to find shit. There's no way that August video is going to be fucking... "10-minute Magic the Gathering video." The genius behind Magic's first new card type in 18 years. It's 8 minutes long. It's extra credits. I assume it's easy to understand for a non-Magic player. Could be fun. Could be fun. Atrioc, can you gift me a sub? My PayPal got unlinked from Twitch. I'm taking out your paycheck, quick. Deduct $5 from your paycheck. Gift. How do I gift Quack? Gift Quack 0011. How do I do it? Quatch. How do I? Oh, yeah, it is. Boom. Boom. How about that, Quack? 6-month gifty. How big of the 5 gifties? Yearly bonus fulfilled. I'm using the GSS list. Yeah. I'm looking at the GSS list. So what do we have? Wait, didn't someone make me a better GSS? I know somebody did, and I always lose it. Where would it be? Get Smarter Saturdays. GSS. Is this it? I think Otto made me one. I just need to fucking bookmark it. Here it is. How about this? Oh, yeah, Otto made me one. It's called smarter.atrioc.biz. Let's see if it works. Can you guys post something in chat? Yeah, it's working. It needs a dark mode, though. Oh, God, it needs a dark mode, Otto. Otto, it needs a dark mode. Yuck! It also doesn't seem to, like, pick up the videos fast. Boyfriend gambles all his money away and gets shot to death ASMR.
Come on, big money, big money. Let's fucking do this. Oh, fuck, God. Babe, stop. Taking out the second mortgage on the house to gamble was worth it because think of the money we're gonna make if I win big, okay? All I gotta do is just keep on gambling. This is the last money. If I win this right now, oh my God, I'm gonna be so rich, babe. Okay, let's do it. Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money. No, 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 no! Give me my fucking money! Give me my money right now, you son of a bitch!
Sir, please calm down!
You shut your fucking mouth! Open this pharmacy right now! Or I'll fucking kill you!
Jesus!
You get back!
I said you leave me no choice! Opening fire!
He won! Oh, he won! He won as he died. Wow. Cinema. That's powerful. Boyfriend calls you and tells you you're cute, but then fucking dies because of a meteor.
Hey baby, I miss you so much. My cutie patootie. My angel. My sweet summer. Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Is that a meteor?
That is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're getting smarter all the time, bro. Woo, baby, we're getting smarter all the time. Damn, that's good. Every stand-up special intro, and it's almost Friday. This video is great. I'll watch this video.
Will, how'd you get here? Will, how did you get here? How'd you get here?
And then after you graduate, you'll come work for me, okay? Because no son of mine is going to be a comedian, understand?
Bad attitude, bad grades, bad kid. There isn't room in this world for class clowns.
You really suck dick tonight on stage, kid. If one more stage time, you're gonna have to suck something else.
You can sleep in your car, but you can't do it here. Comedy's tough. It's not for everyone.
Will, how did you get here? Did you drive? Because if you did, they'll pay for your parking.
No, I took a cab.
Okay, well, let's head in. On in a few.
We're good. Easy with me. You're on
The child actors were crazy. Looks so much like him.
You're in this, man. New era of comedy, man. You guys want to take a shot? Let's do it. Yeah. Here's to you, dude. Cheers.
She's coming out.
Hey. Never seen so many people in one room. That was the best set I've ever
They're
done.
good people. They just want a good show. So.
Before you, I was doing laundromats and like pizza parlor gigs. For real, this is crazy.
Yeah, you know, the Madison Square Gardens, they're fun, but don't you guys miss doing laundromats? Hey, can I get a drink?
Yeah, what do you want? 1942, Grey Goose.
No, just a cold beer.
Yeah. All right. You get going. We didn't finish that story from earlier.
Oh, yeah. So I was telling them, there's this guy, right? He's really depressed. So he goes to the doc.
All right, you good to go? You ready?
1 second. So he goes to the doc and he's like, hey, doc, I can't get out of bed. I'm so sad. And the doc goes, I've got the perfect cure.
Okay, all right.
1 second. There's a clown in town, Pagliacci. Okay, go see him. He's the funniest guy in town. Won't be depressed anymore.
Seriously.
Guy hangs his head in his hands and he's weeping, sobbing. But Doc, you don't understand.
All right, I got your beer. You're going. You gotta go. It's time. You gotta go now. You're going now. What do you say?
But Doc,
Now coming to the stage, Will Angus.
I am Pagliacci.
What's up,
Texas! Uh-oh, looks like it's time to... Fucking love you guys. Oh, man, you guys are awesome. You in the gray sweatshirt, what's your name, dude?
Kyle.
Kyle. Retard. Kill yourself, Kyle. No. Y'all rule, man.
Good stuff.
No, you guys have been awesome. That's been my time. Love you guys. Hey, it's time to...
That's just good comedy. Chills.
So money, dude.
They've been killing it almost Friday. They've been killing it.
But Doc, I am Pagliacci.
Thank you so much for coming on, Will.
No, this is the ad. They're killing it. Really funny. Really funny stuff. The just one more paradox. 5 spoken. Amazon's quadruple A MMO from Donkey. We could do the magic one. 450K views. It's probably understandable to regular non-magic players. Donkey vid fire. Bro, sometimes you guys say that, and I do think Donkey is very funny and a great creator, but sometimes you say that and the video is just like clips of him playing a game and he's like making a little joke over him. It's like 10 minutes of him like running around and then going and it's like that video is fine, but it's not. You guys talk about it like it's the Donkey video, you can't miss it. It's the fucking, and it's like crazy because you've already seen it, so you want to watch that same thing again. It's just crazy. Timothy, is this a new salmonella or have I not seen this? The dumbest rags to riches story. That sounds hilarious, and we can learn something. But I don't know if I've seen this. Have I seen this, Timothy Dexter? I certainly don't remember it. Let me. I'm gonna start it, and if I've seen it, then we'll stop.
This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hey kids, now we all know that fate is a fickle thing. Some of us may try to defy its will, but there's enough small businesses with Pizza Hut roofs out there to tell you that such a thing is ultimately futile. As for most of us, we tend to have our fair share of good and bad luck throughout our lives, but every now and then, RN Jesus smiles upon some drooling little loaf child and says, "You, my son, you shall be the one with all the figgy pudding." That child was Timothy Dexter. Dexter was born in Malden, Massachusetts in 1747. He had a humble upbringing, dropping out of school as an 8-year-old to work as a farmhand and a leather worker. But Dexter thought he deserved better, so when he grew up, he married one Elizabeth Frothingham, a rich widow in need of company. Gold digging achieved, he began his quest to become a true aristocrat. As his first step, he thinks, all the rich guys I know are in positions of power. I should run for office. Now, the town of Malden wasn't much keen on appointing a bumbling second-grade dropout, but after rejecting dozens of petitions sent in by Dexter, they eventually...
I think I may have seen this, but I don't remember it, so I'm going to watch it. I may have seen this, but I don't remember how it ends or what goes on, so I'm gonna...
gave up and decided to just make some shit up, leading to Dexter becoming the official informer of deer, tasking him with keeping logs on the local deer population. And over statistics of does and bucks alike, Dexter ruled with an iron fist, triumphantly concluding what many had already known. that there weren't any deer in Malden, Massachusetts. Satisfied with his political career, Dexter then set his sights on greater financial ventures. So a little history, in 1775, as part of our growing independence from Britain, the Continental Congress decided to establish their own currency, known as the Continental Dollar. Real creative there. Then the Revolutionary War started, and it dawned on people that these pieces of paper wouldn't be very useful in a giant pile of wet tea and smoldering patriots, causing their value to do one of those horny eagle death spirals. Then the Congress did, you know, that stupid thing that every high schooler learns is stupid, not invading Russia in winter, but the other one, practically making them worth less than their weight in paper and ink. And wouldn't you know it, a good portion of the Continental Army was paid with these. So by the time the war ended,
you'd think every high schooler learned it, but we do it all the fucking time.
many veterans were left totally destitute. The aristocrats were like, well, these grass-eating Untermensches did kind of give us a country, so whatever, we'll throw them a few cents and take this trash off their hands. Dexter was like, ooh, I'm a wealthman, I'm gonna do that too. And he spent the majority of his savings buying a boatload after boatload of the 1780s equivalent of Blockbuster gift cards. By all accounts, this should have been his ruin, but by some stroke of luck, after the Constitution was ratified, the new government decided that they'd trade Continentals for treasury bonds worth 1% of their face value. Doesn't sound like much, but keep in mind, Dexter bought thousands of crates of bills for fractions of pennies apiece. So as buybacks began across the country, his stockpile appreciated massively in value, and this informer of Deer realized that, for the first time, there were a lot of bucks in Malden. But just because he was now a man of the upper crust doesn't mean he let it go to his head. Sure, he might have purchased the most luxurious chateau that money could buy, through daily Playboy Mansion-style ragers, and commissioned over 40 statues of America's greatest heroes, one of which was of himself, with a plaque calling him, quote, the greatest philosopher in the Western world. Despite his incredibly—
Bro, this is how I feel living next to Ludwig, dude. When I met him, he worked at Best Buy. All right? Now bro is buying fucking $50,000 statues. Yeah.
Tacky displays of wealth. His contemptuous contemporaries still saw him for the loud, illiterate rube he was. So they started giving him deliberately awful investment tips in order to get him to bankrupt himself. One such piece of advice was that he should ship warming pans to the Caribbean. For those of you born after 1850, a warming pan's this dish on a long pole.
I do remember this. They tell him to ship warming pans, and it ends up being actually, they're like, as a joke, and it ends up being a great investment. And he, I do remember this. We've definitely seen this. But I'm gonna watch it because it's pretty funny.
Fill up with hot coals to warm up your bed. Not much use in a tropical paradise. But Dexter was undeterred by such frivolous things as logic. Went ahead and sent over 40—
I remember that because I was there and I was the one who told him to invest in warming pans because I just hated the guy and I was trying to undermine him and now I feel like an idiot. He ended up making a fuck ton of money. It's so stupid. Oh, God. I put all my money into Blockbuster stock at the time, which was also a good investment, but I held too long. Oh, Big L.
1,000 of them to the West Indies. When they arrived, the locals didn't really know what they were looking at and decided to use them as ladles for the sugar and molasses refineries. And by the end of it, Dexter sold every single one at a markup of nearly 80%. Frustrated that their plan backfired, the elites then told him to literally carry coal to Newcastle, which is an old idiom used to describe a pointless task based off the fact that Newcastle was one of the world's biggest producers of coal. The only idioms Dexter knew about all involved different animals shitting in the woods, so he took their word on good faith and went along with it. But by some divine providence, by the time the shipment arrived, the Newcastle coal miners had all gone on strike, and Dexter once again cleared the entire shipment with a hefty profit. He was like, man, I am so smart. By this point, he was pretty confident in his speculation skills, so he started making seemingly far-fetched—
Who wouldn't be? Even if you're actually dumb as a rock, if you get 3 fucking generational wealth increases, you're gonna think you're smart as shit.
Ventures all by himself. One time he had a bunch of stray cats rounded up for basically free, which sounds like herding cats, but what do I know? And he sent them to the Caribbean, where they were gobbled up en masse. Not like eaten, but purchased to deal with all the rat infestations. In another instance, he bought up just about every whalebone in Boston. And coincidentally, at the same time in France, men started wearing corsets too for some reason. Demand went way up, Dexter's laughing. Now from an outside perspective, at the end of the day, Dexter was a very shrewd merchant. So at this point in my research, I was like, wait a minute, is he smart? Then I learned about his life outside of business. Dexter considered himself extremely knowledgeable on just about every topic. Keywords, considered himself. For example, he once stumbled stumbled upon a guy painting a sign to go along with the newly built statue of Jefferson. And when he saw that the sign called Jefferson the writer of the Declaration of Independence, Dexter lost his frickin' mind and insisted that Jefferson did not pen the DOI, but rather the Constitution. Spoiler alert, not remotely true. He was in France at the time. An easy mistake to make today, sure. But this was only like 10 years after the fact. That's like someone to...
This is, you know, I remember, like, when I was a kid, something like my parents, for example, would argue over, like, who was that actress in that movie? Because you couldn't look it up. Nobody had a phone. My parents would get mad about it. So I can only imagine back then where you really have no fucking way of verifying in your fucking town. You just fucking argue about it. And you could just be
today saying, Obama didn't kill bin Laden, dumbass. That was Bill Clinton. Anyway, when the painter refused to change the inscription, Dexter started shooting at him with a long rifle until he complied. Real genteel. Dexter made sure to surround himself with the requisite number of weirdos to maintain this level of delusion, one of which was Jonathan Plummer, a man whom Dexter paid to be his poet laureate, writing only the most laudatory odes in his honor. Mind you, this wasn't just your run-of-the-mill, wise-and-wizened wordsmith. Jonathan sold fish for a living, and porn. He just kind of went along with the whole thing for the pocket change. Besides his entourage, Dexter occasionally spent time with the total geeds known as his family. He had 2 children, whom the New England Historical Society describes as a half-mad drunk and a completely mad drunk, respectively. And he couldn't stand his wife on account of her perceived constant nagging, to the point where he would tell guests he was unmarried and that he just had a ghost in his house. Just like, oh yeah, that's a sea hag. You know, mansion built on some old Indian shipwreck or something. Timmy, please, I'm cold and my hands are rheumatic. Find it in your heart to light the fireplace for me. Yeah, plenty of that in hell, you banshee bitch. One day, in a massive stroke of ego, Dexter decided to fake his own death, complete with a lavish funeral service just to see who would show up. Lucky for him, about 3,000 people from all walks of life turned up. Though initially staying out of sight, he soon noticed that his wife wasn't crying. So in response, he jumped out and started hitting her upside the head with a cane in front of everybody. But as his true mortality grew closer, Dexter knew he needed a legacy and decided to pen his memoirs titled A Pickle for the Knowing Ones, which was basically just 20 pages of unhinged ranting about politics, religion, his wife, and whatever else came to mind. No punctuation, random capitalization, the most amazing spelling I've ever seen. Here's some excerpts. George Washington, attitude, philosopher, tobacco, general. And this is all just from the first few lines. The entire book is written like this. And just like everything else the guy did, the thing sold like fucking hotcakes. Why does anybody even try? The best part is that when he got complaints about the total lack of grammatical anything, in the second edition of the book, he put an extra page at the end full of nothing but punctuation marks, with a little note saying that anyone who felt like whining could just stick them wherever they wanted. Dexter died in 1806, and by and large...
That's actually goat behavior. Wait, that's actually fire. What a fucking comeback. A bit of a sigma.
He probably should have ended up in Davy Jones's locker, but given the circumstances, I imagine the big man upstairs dropped his big deck of mortal soul trading cards at just the right moment, letting him slip through the pearly gates undetected. And legend has it that to this day, if you pray to the name Timothy Dexter, he'll look upon you kindly and share his skills with you all. Wait a minute.
Pray.
Share. Skill.
Like it. Funny story. Oh, dude, I have to watch this. How bots use YouTube comments to find private info. I have to understand, why the fuck are bots coming onto every YouTube channel and typing random names? Brian Hall, Susan Martin. I don't get this. This is so recent. What the fuck is this? I need to watch this. I need to understand.
So I've gotten weird comments before, but today I got 2 comments that really caught my attention. Young, Brian, Hall, Susan, Martin, Jessica.
What is this?
Okay. Alan, Christopher, Perez, Daniel, Lee, Richard. Right. So most reasonable people would look at this and say, huh, seems pretty spammy. Oh well. But not me, because I live for this kind of stuff, and there's definitely something suspicious going on here. For one, both accounts are basically brand new with no information, but let's take a closer look.
I'm so interested.
The first comment had the word Jessica, which happens to be in my blocked word list. So YouTube automatically pulled it for review, where it has continued to sit for 5 hours. The second comment didn't have any words in my blocked list, so it was posted and then deleted about 15 minutes later. So you might reasonably ask yourself, why was the second posted comment deleted, but not the first? I tested this by making 2 comments with my other channel. Jessica is on the block list and Susan is not. When I go to the video page and my comment history, I can't actually see that one is not being shown. I had to look with a different account to see it's not there. But if the comment is missing from the comment section, it's a pretty obvious signal you found a word in the creator's block list. But now the question is, why names? Well, most creators tend not to put their real names online, but that would get foiled pretty quickly when you get a comment like, "Oh hey, Jessica, we were friends at Susan B. Anthony Middle School. It was so cool that you had a house on 3rd and Market Street, and your mom, Gloria, maiden name Smith, made the best
It's trying to find their real names? My real name's Brandon Ewing. That's very public.
Pretty reasonable that creators would put names like Jessica, Susan.
No, but what's weird is this can't be the only reason, right? Because I see it on every channel. It's not like a crazy fan. It's like bots that are going across all.
Gloria,
yeah, it's like on Ludwig's channel.
And their block list. The problem is, most creators probably don't realize that their block list can be reverse engineered. So what was the goal of these comments? So I don't think I was personally targeted, because there were only 2 comments, and you need a lot more to find a single person. My suspicion is that the bots are looking for channels owned by specific people with one name in each comment. For example, Brian Lee or Richard Hall. They're probably using the bots to narrow down to channels that have a double comment block, and then they'll do a more fine-grained search from there. But this is just a guess, so let me know your crazy.
So they're mass spamming across YouTube to find people's hidden name, then use the name to blackmail them? That's crazy. I mean, that's presumably. They're trying to figure it out, but... That's insane.
Conspiracy theory in the comments. Maybe there's something tying these names together that I'm...
Yeah, why don't you just block 5 extra random names?
missing. Also, maybe let your creator friends know so they don't get doxxed. The blocked word limit seems to be really high, so if you're going to put your real name, also just add every name you can think of, I guess.
So interesting. I did not understand those comments, and I've been seeing them on multiple channels, and I was like, wait, what do they gain out of that? The comments that I used to get, I still get some of them, but like the most common financial comments I get are when you'll have someone be like, wow, this video is so interesting and taught me about interest rates. But you know who really taught me? And then there'll be a fucking comment underneath that being like, who? Because I'm also in the market for like interesting financial news. And then the next comment will be like, yeah, I learned a lot from Jenny Peterson or whatever. You know, it'll be like say, 8 comment chain talking about how like, yeah, Jenny Peterson really helped me get my finances in order. I'd give her a Google. You get those. They're like the classic. They try to make it seem like it's a regular conversation, and you're like listening in and going, oh, I should give that a Google. Yeah, I do all of my financial investing with Jenny Peterson. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Oh, video length. Okay. The video length is now set to 20 minutes. 20-minute max length. Okay. 20-minute max length. Economist explains why Europeans are getting poorer and happier. All right. I can watch it. Euro poors, but they're Euro happies? Fuck, it's only 11 minutes.
This graph shows that after the Second World War, the income of the average European has gotten closer and closer to that of the average American in dollar terms. However, after the crisis of 2008, that picture has changed. As Europeans...
It's funny that Americans, this is so funny. It's funny that Europeans don't know that we made up the entire housing crisis to to fuck over their economies and like pull ahead. Isn't it? Like they all think 2008 is real. We made the whole fucking thing up. Housing crisis? What does it even mean, dude? It's just a house. We made The Big Short fake movie. The whole fucking thing is a total hoodwink to fuck over their economies and diverge. Ugh. Don't tell them, bro. They haven't figured it out by now. Come on, like the joke's over. It's been 20 years.
Incomes stagnated while that of Americans continued to rise. This has led to alarming reports by financial media that Europeans are getting poorer and Americans richer. And while some of that can be explained by Europeans working less, a new report by arguably Europe's most famous economist, Mario Draghi, claims that the main problem is that Europeans have become 20% less productive compared to Americans. This economic stagnation is a major threat to Europe's prosperity because it will prevent European governments from making much needed investments to deal with a rapidly aging population and increased outside threats. However, as a European economist who acknowledges that this chart is very real, I still had a nagging suspicion that a crucial piece of the puzzle was missing, because whenever I make videos about Western economies, it's usually the Americans that are complaining about the state of their economy, not Europeans. Of course, me just looking at my comments is hardly scientific. But when I inspected typical quality of life statistics, such as the Human Development Index, life expectancy at birth, and
life expectancy is where America looks like a fucking third world nation.
such as the Human Development Index, life expectancy at birth.
We got such fucking bad healthcare for regular people, and we have deaths of despair and fentanyl, and dude, I mean, our life expectancy is fucking miserable. For the amount of wealth in the country. It's embarrassing. Look at this fall off, dude. It's crazy.
And self-reported happiness, which normally correlate consistently with GDP per person, this supposed massive impoverishment of Europeans versus Americans does not show up.
Is that huge drop Fent? That's part of it.
A massive impoverishment of Europeans versus Americans does
this drop was it starting? I mean, the fucking dots are covered, but I think this is around 2018. It's probably fucking COVID response, rising fentanyl. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this is COVID, right? This is COVID specifically because there's a lot of deaths, but. I remember the year when we had a raid. Thanks for the raid. The raid is from. I don't see it. It doesn't show me. The raid was from Demantle with a party of 3. Sheesh. I'll do the raid song that we give for every raid. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid. I am getting paid because of your massive raid. Thank you so much. What a fucking... Put your back into it, little bro. Kendrick's been real quiet for... We need to start deporting the raiders. They're not raiding with their best, folks. They're not raiding with their best. The raiders come in, they take chatter jobs. You guys were happily spamming poggies and +2s. The raiders come, they do it for you. All of a sudden, you're on the sidelines. The raiders ate your cat. The raiders, they'll eat your emotes, folks. They'll eat your poggies. They're eating the pogs. Holy fuck. They're eating the Pogs. Holy fuck. They're eating the champs. No, but seriously though, we need to ban them all. Like I know we're all having fun, but we need to seriously deport every single one of these raiders to the chat. And we will stop all growth until then. I will not do any content until we fucking eradicated. Jake Clary, thank you for the 12 months. Jake State Farm, thank you for the tier 1. Zaxivus, thank you for the 21 months. Big A, Glizzy Hands, H, you just put the whole thing. Dude, it's so funny. So I can't share this image, but some of you, if you've been around long enough, may have gotten the original piece of merch I did, which is the Atrioc nickname hoodie. And it was like a hoodie that had every single Atrioc nickname on there. Had like, you know, Glizzy Hands and everything. A lot of them. And it filled the whole back. It was Nick from the Yards idea, and he made it, and it was pretty cool. The only problem is he made it, and he put together all the nicknames and put the thing together. And someone wore it to the concert, and I got a picture with them when we were talking. And I realized it's like impossible to wear in public because on the back, one of the nicknames is Small Balls, Big Shaft. Which is not a nickname. Which is not, I don't know where he pulled that from, but it just says on the back, it says like Atrioc, Glizzy Hands, Sarah, fucking, what else is there? Golden Grandpa, Agent Sigma 19, remember the Green Out, Edward Glizzy Hands, the Blev, Sir Glizzington, and then it says Small Balls, Big Shaft. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. You can't sell that product. I guess I did. I guess I did sell that product. We sold out, actually. So, you just can't wear it. Anyway, back to this.
Massive impoverishment of Europeans versus Americans does not show up at all. This really got me wondering, what's going on? Did Europeans find the secret to having a good life without having money?
This is happy Europeans?
No, the problem is that using this specific measure of GDP that almost everyone uses is very misleading, at least when it comes to comparing how rich Europeans are to Americans. To understand why, let's do a quick review of how economists compare economies. Well, economists have long been looking for an alternative. As of today, gross domestic product, or GDP for short, is still considered the best metric to compare how well off people in different countries are. In essence, GDP measures the value of all final goods and services produced in a specific country or region in a year. Now, while that misses a lot of economic activity, GDP actually tends to correlate really well with all sorts of different quality of life metrics.
Sure.
But while, for example, life expectancy in terms of years lived can easily be compared between two countries, GDP cannot, because countries often use a different unit of account for GDP. That is, the value of British goods and services are measured in British pounds. And while the Europeans mostly use euros and Americans use dollars. Of course, the easiest way to compare economies that use different currencies is to just use today's exchange rate to, for example, convert Euro GDP to Europe's dollar GDP. Indeed, this is exactly how this graph was produced by economists at the World Bank. And just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, when I compare economies on this channel, I most often use GDP in dollar terms, simply because the US dollar is the world currency. So if your GDP drops in terms of US dollars, your citizens have genuinely become poorer from a global perspective. That is, they can now buy less stuff on international markets. So if, for example, we want to compare the international power of two small open economies that trade a lot with each other in different currencies, dollar term GDP is, in my opinion, the best metric that we have. However, GDP measured in US dollars is less useful if we want to compare American incomes to those in Europe.
Yeah.
You see, in such a large economic blocks, only a small fraction of goods and services are actually traded across borders. For example, in the US, total imports were just 15% of GDP in 2022. On top of that, for many goods and services, transportation costs are so high that it is extremely difficult to trade them across borders, even if such products or services would be much cheaper in a neighboring country. For example, if I go to the local hairdresser here in Belgium, I pay 15 euros to get this specific haircut, and it is worth every penny in my opinion. Which is good because, while...
I'm sorry, really? It's not. I'm not making fun of him, but it's not. It's certainly not like a top tier greatest haircut I've ever seen. It's like this is like a haircut I would get, and I don't think any. That's my haircut. Yeah, it's very similar, and I don't think I'm getting every penny's worth of. I guess 15 euros. 15 euros is probably like 10 cents, right? What's the exchange rate? 15 euros is like. I think that's worth one gumball in America. So yeah, that makes sense. That's actually that's valuable.
I live fairly close to the Dutch border. Traveling to the nearest Dutch hair salon would be way more expensive than 15 euros, especially if I take into consideration travel time. This is why economists often use getting a haircut as an example of a non-tradable good or service, where transportation costs are so high.
Dude, imagine being a European, riding your bike next to a wind farm. Ugh! When you could be riding your fucking SUV down the 405, dude. Next to a Walmart. Like a real fucking human being in a real economy. Dude, one lane. One fucking lane, imagine. Jesus Christ. One lane, embarrassing. This is like, it's like watching cavemen, dude, chisel with rocks.
To consideration travel time. This is why economists often use getting a haircut as an example of a non-tradable good or service, where transportation costs are so high that international trade does not make sense at all. As you can imagine, the bigger a country or region is, the fewer goods and services will be tradable, as it gets more and more expensive to travel to another country for an alternative. Specifically, economists have estimated that non-tradable goods and services could be as low as 22% for a big country like the United States.
Okay.
In other words, while it may be simplest to use today's dollar-euro exchange rate to judge how rich Europeans are compared to Americans, the vast majority of the GDP of both regions is not directly impacted by this exchange rate because it is measuring mostly non-tradable goods and services. This is why instead economists often use the so-called...
This is such a long cope. This is like a 25-minute setup to say that, on purchasing power parity, it's closer. Yeah, I'm sure it is. You said at the beginning.
Purchasing power parity, or PPP for short, exchange rates, to compare the economies of big currency blocks like Europe and the United States. In essence, the purchasing power parity comparison of GDP looks at the prices of a representative basket of goods and services that includes both tradable and non-tradable goods and services. So PPP GDP compares the purchasing power that people actually have to buy most goods and services in their own country, rather than on international markets using the US dollar. Interestingly, if we use PPP GDP to compare European incomes to those of Americans, we will see that Europe is not falling behind where it really matters. Indeed, as you can see here, while the average EU and UK citizens' share of PPP GDP is lower than that of the average American, who works longer hours by the way, we do not see the same stagnation as we saw in the US dollar GDP graph. But why this difference? Well, since the difference between US dollar GDP...
Bro, all I have to say, there's still a fucking big ass gap. yeah, I mean, it's just, maybe it's a little wider, but yeah. It's not as bad though. Well, it's not. It's not that it's not as bad. It's that this didn't flatline in the post-COVID, which I guess makes sense. You know, I was always suspicious of that idea. He's probably going to explain. Actually, this is the explanation I really want to hear because I don't. It probably has to do with the exchange rates and the strength of the dollar or whatever since COVID. That makes the first GDP number unreliable.
Same stagnation as we saw in the US dollar GDP graph. But why this difference? Well, since the difference between US dollar GDP and purchasing power parity GDP comes from how they account for both prices and the exchange rate, we would expect that either Europe's inflation and or exchange rate compared to the US could explain why Europeans have gotten poorer in US dollar terms since 2008. And as you can see here, after the 2008 crisis, prices in the US have gone up considerably faster than in key European countries.
Yikes!
However, as we can see here, for the case of, for example, the Turkish lira, a high inflation currency should lose value compared to a low inflation currency. So given that inflation was consistently higher in the US than in Europe, we'd expect the dollar to have lost value compared to the euro. However, if we look at this graph, we can see that instead, the low inflation euro has lost value to the high inflation dollar. While in 2008 you could roughly get $1.50 for 1 euro,
Yeah, that's exchange rates.
today you can only get roughly $1.12 for that same single euro. So while this graph is correct, Europeans are poorer in dollar terms, most Europeans have not really felt this because most of what they buy are so-called non-traded goods and services which come from the continent itself.
Interesting. So we printed more dollars than they printed euros, made more stupid financial decisions, but the strength of our US dollar has carried us. It's awesome. It's awesome. Fucking based. I'm sure that'll last forever.
Where they do not use US dollars. This can explain why quality of life metrics that usually correlate with GDP, like the Human Development Index, life expectancy and reported happiness in Europe, are doing just fine despite dollar value GDP stagnating massively compared to the US since 2008. But then, why are financial newspapers and politicians making such a fuss about Europe's economic decline? Well, I think it is mostly a matter of perspective. If you work for an international company, as a financial journalist, for example, you will genuinely feel poorer on your trips to the United States or when comparing yourself to your American colleagues. And if, like Mario Draghi...
Dude, it's also tourism. Like, if you live in Europe and you start to see an influx of American tourists who can spend more than you think is reasonable... This is happening in Japan, dude. They're getting pissed off because their exchange rate's so bad. There's so many tourists, not just from America, but from all over. And they seem relatively wealthier. And it's like, what the... They're pissed. They're like, what the fuck's going on with our economy?
You are worried about Europe's place in the world that is rapidly becoming more hostile.
Spain too.
Dollar GDP also matters a lot. For example, Europe's new LNG energy imports will have to be paid for in US dollars. Finally, the fact that the dollar has remained so strong despite higher inflation could be a reflection of fundamental US strength compared to Europe, such as its cheaper energy, younger population, and better business environment for the companies of the future. So yes, people are right to worry about Europe's diminished economic strength on the world stage. However, with this video, I've hoped to have convinced you that despite a popular narrative, Europeans have not gotten poorer than Americans, where it really matters, the purchasing power of its.
Yeah, it's what's inside that counts, guys. Guys, it's what's inside that counts, all right? It's really about the heart. If you really just put yourself out there and smile a lot, you know, real, true happiness will come to you, okay? And that is the lesson, and I truly believe that. One thing we know about the world is that you don't really need money. Okay? Shit that you really want, like, doesn't cost money. Whether it's housing or or food or rent or cars or anything. It's just you don't need money.
People. Another advantage that Europeans have over Americans is that
face.
their data is typically better protected, even though that is only
That's the
just by a
graph we
little.
need.
Therefore, it still makes sense
The amount
for
of times you
anyone
see a
that doesn't
baby's
want to become a
laughter during
victim
a
of
day.
cybercrime to enlist the help of today's video.
Incogni! Check it out. Buy it. Good video, though. Honestly, interesting video. I like the second part more than the first, where he was just explaining what PPP is for the fucking entire duration. Did you see Jerome Powell say NVIDIA is going down? I know for a fact you're lying. There is zero fucking shot Jerome Powell said this, so I know you're trying to bait me into clicking something else. I'm not going to click the fucking link. Jerome Powell. Don't try. You have to understand it. If you're going to try and bait me, you have to understand what's possible. Don't it's insulting. Jerome Powell said NVIDIA's going down. Jerome Powell wouldn't say that. He's invested in saying the opposite, okay? The last thing Jerome Powell would say is a panicky statement like NVIDIA's going down. Don't fucking... I'm not clicking shit. The greatest fighting game of your generation, Boomer. I'm not really looking for a fighting game. We're looking for something good where we can learn. Learn. Wrinkle our brains. Get smarter, get smarter, get smarter. Dude, where did I put Otto's thing? Where did I put it? Oh, we didn't watch this video. I have this open from yesterday. Putin and Xi Jinping learned to make China... Oh, yeah, we were trying to find videos of Xi Jinping laughing, and we couldn't find any of them. And then Ludwig went in to play League. Wait.
Чтобы завернули туда, хворост. Попробуйте, пожалуйста. Горячо.
Laugh? It does look tasty.
Тема. Можно пельмени сделать, можно.
Dude, Putin sucks at this. Putin, you suck at making dumplings, bro.
很好。как цветочек. 狗不理就将来是普京总统啊。
Hey! That was Xi Jinping's laugh? That was nothing. Wait, let me see this again.
狗不理就将来是普京总统啊。
Holy shit. The only time I've seen Xi Jinping laugh is to make fun of Putin's dumpling. That's crazy. Dude, what a terrible dumpling. Truly embarrassing. Let's see. Wait, Putin and Xi make pancakes? Wait, how many different videos are there of Putin and Xi Jinping cooking? Dude, this would be a fire cooking show. Putin and Xi Jinping cooking. Dude, what the hell? I want to see a fan cam. Yeah, these two. Dude, Xi Jinping is so much better at this than Putin. Which also reflects the way their countries are run, I'm gonna be honest with you. Xi Jinping's the big dog in this relationship.
наша пшеничная мука.
是小麦，俄罗斯的这个麦，小麦。Снимаем. Нам все равно. Можно кушать, да?
Давайте начнем с этого. Так вот, Вова, что беленькое подать?
白色的勺子，那个加就是这个样子。这个是什么？这是红鱼子酱。
They have caviar on their pancake?
鱼的品种不一样。
不同的鱼种。
Heaping it on there.
很多东西。Ну что, ну попробуйте.
Put some syrup and butter on there, bro.
Все, ладно.
好，尝一下，来30了。好吃一次。
拿着。
И по русской традиции мы предлагаем аперитив.
也按照俄罗斯的传统，也要喝一点东西。来一点这个。喝什么酒啊？啊，это водочка.
Да, это не великая стена, но мы же в России.
不是长城因为我们是在俄罗斯，所以。
Dude, it's covering up his laughter. It's impossible to find this guy laughing. If they have a third thing of them cooking, I'm gonna go crazy. Xi Jinping, Putin cooking. They made pancakes. They made dumplings. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's the only two. And the third one would have been crazy. Or they make tea together. They take a... Dude, Xi and Putin drink tea together. Xi and Putin take a leisurely boat tour together. They're fucking flirting, dude. It's like a fucking hidden ship. It's a bromance. Putin and Obama share a laugh? What do you think they're saying here? Good one, Putin. Good one. He rizzed him. He rizzed him. He fucking rizzed him, dude. You had to give it to him. All right, we need a fucking heater of a video, dude. We need a video that's gonna fucking turn everything around right now. Gonna teach us everything we need to know. We need a video that's like built from the ground up to put knowledge into our brains. And now I know what it is. Here's the video right here, scrolling to the bottom. It is... No, we watched this. Atlanta's air traffic control. How recipes are holding you back. The man who rigged America's election maps. I don't super care about this right now, but I do want to say, you guys know Nate Silver, the polling guy? He got into a little bit of Twitter beef over his prediction that Florida is going to be a close state for this election. Somebody, Keith Raboy, who's also a fucking, I mean, he's actually not even also. Nate Silver's fine. Keith Raboy's a fucking idiot. Keith Raboy said, nah, Trump's going to win by 10 points. Guaranteed. So they put a $100,000 bet on it today, and they signed a contract. So they're going to, I mean, someone's going to lose publicly. It's going to be crazy. What's considered a long video? 20 minutes. I'll put 25 just to be safe, because unless there's a 22er that's fucking banger. The greatest recorded speeches in American history. This would be a fun stream. We should do this. Wait, reminder! Reminder, we'll do it this week. I'll do it fucking, let's just say Wednesday. We watch all of them, the greatest speeches, and we give them a rating. And we'll tier list it. That's awesome idea. We're going to tier list the greatest speeches in American history. And that's always, it's just good learning in general, because the speeches are fucking incredible. Dude, there's such a good speech from JFK. I should save this for the fucking video. I'll save it for the video. I'll save the bit for the video. Well, I'll say it now. A little spoiler for the people watching. There's a speech from JFK right before he dies where he's talking about the importance of peace, of not getting involved in these broad, you know, overseas conflicts that drain our budget and then right after that he gets fucking killed, and suddenly we're in Vietnam, dude. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Gets unalived. Yeah, sorry. I'm just, for the Zoomers, I'm just trying to say the right thing. Keep that in mind. Keep that fucking in mind. That's such a good idea. That'd be fun. The longest match in modern Counter-Strike history, 400 kills. Wait, this could be hilarious. The longest match in modern Counter-Strike history. Is that a banger? Fuck it, let's watch it. That sounds hilarious. That sounds really funny.
Montiel. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman!
Overtime in sports is the pinnacle. Two teams have duked it out for all of regulation, but they are evenly matched. But it differs in certain sports. In football, yes, that football, the actual football, they kind of say just screw this. We're not kicking the ball around anymore. I'm taking that now. And now we are going to go straight to penalties, where certain teams can be better than others, but typically these always end in a quick, decisive result. Basketball, they get some extra time. When both teams are tied.
Who here is a soccer fan? I feel like penalty kicks are actually fucking hype. I feel like penalty kicks are kind of low-key cool as shit. It's like such a fucking aura 1v1, tension, stressful, high intensity. I think soccer is kind of boring. But I would watch a game where it's just penalty kicks, you know? And it's like so much stress on the fucking goalie, dude. Wow. Like you have to fucking instant react or everyone blames you.
At the end of regulation, they give them 5 extra minutes. If both teams are tied at the end of that 5 minutes, they give them 5 extra minutes. If both teams are tied at the end of that 5 minutes, they give them another 5 minutes. If both teams are tied at the end of that 5 minutes, they give them another 5. As many events are, it was a Counter-Strike tournament just like any other. ESL Pro League Season 20, and the vibes are impeccable. On the B stream, a promising Fnatic lineup is taking on an upstart M80 team who are fresh off an upset with their NA prodigy, Lake. It's set up to be a solid match, but it's being eclipsed by a Mao's Imperial game that's going on the main stream, so who cares about the B stream? Well, folks, you might wanna. Wearing the commentator headset for this game is Cole Exner McHenry, a good friend of mine, my co-commentator, and this is his first season of ESL Pro League.
Okay.
Him, alongside Mike, Darth Mike Winnick, will be lending their voice.
Does this still exist, ESL Pro League? I know a bunch of people tried to make like a Counter-Strike consistent league so they could make money. It still exists? Okay, cool.
To this game, and 10 players in the server will join him. The map veto comes through, and the first pick is M80s of Anubis, Counter-Strike's newest map into the pool. One that actually skews in the attacker's favor and requires a lot of CT side aggression in order to reclaim map control and garner more information. All this to say that you have to work really hard for every single defensive round. So if I went through all the rounds in this game, you might die of old age first. So let's get into it. Hop, skipping, and jumping deep into regulation, both teams trade CT side pistol rounds, setting up a nail-biter of a game. M80 are down 11-8, but are able to dig deep with some hard-fought rounds. First, it's a B execute, and then they eliminate that defender aggression and crush the ego. It is 11-11.
Okay.
But Fnatic are able to get up there first with a retake courtesy of Afro.
Intel Core.
This bomb will be planted. Work going to be required, and Blame F creeping closer. Oh! Rack can't nail it. It falls to Swisher. Clutch required. He'll take the first, but no! Blame out snap.
So with Fnatic sitting on that point, M80 established a post plant on the B side, but they're down a player. However, the CTs don't have any utility. Nothing to break crossfires, nothing to stop trades.
No utility?
It's a bloodbath.
That's not as much of an issue, but it is still going to be her read. Spray down on the first, the second as well. They hold the line, and now it's all falling apart one by one. The bodies do drop, and it seems like we're destined for overtime. Atrioc makes the magic happen. No. Lake will drown him, and we are going for more rounds.
Totally not foreshadowing there from Darth Mike. Welcome to overtime, or as many people would start calling it, undertime. Alrighty, folks, so let's see how overtime works in Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is a very weird game. It's not like other sports where you just, like, score. In regulation, it's technically a first two.
Bro, I just thought of something. Counter-Strike overtime should be, you should send out your best player, and they have to do a 1v1 on, like, a sniper map. That'd be so swag. Yeah, gulag type beat. That'd be so swag. Everyone would be so excited. It would take years. All right, they would do. It's a fucking, the map gets smaller or whatever. I don't know. 1 round sniper, 1 round knives.
13 rounds or a best of 24. Well, now it becomes a
1v1
best of 6
trivia.
for the first team to win 4 rounds in overtime. If both teams score 3 out of the 6, they run another set of 6 rounds. And if both teams score 3 out of the 6, they run another set of 6 rounds, and another set of 6 rounds, and another set of 6 rounds, and another set of 6. After the first 3 rounds of each overtime, the attacking and defending sides swap, which is a big deal considering that this map is significantly attacker favored. The first OT leads off with M80 starting a 2-1 split on the T side. But Fnatic are utterly tenacious. At 14 all, in a man deficit, they hit some ridiculous entries to break open the B site and put Rec into an unwinnable situation. Fnatic, in this race to 16, strike match point first.
Okay.
Is the longest game in CS history gonna end in the first overtime? All right, okay, it definitely didn't. The way it happens is what makes a game legendary. M80 stare down an opening disadvantage and have weak weaponry. Swisher gets annihilated on the entry, but young 19-year-old Lake will put his continent on his back.
But he can't capitalize. Lake gets one. The second. Lake holds the line. And Lake might just be that hero now. This young gamer playing off of each other. Lake might just do it all himself. He's looking for the ace, baiting out his shots. And it is going to be Lake with the ace to put us through to double overtime.
That's fucking awesome.
The first overtime is complete. It is 15-15. I'd actually started watching at this point. I was getting ready to go to the gym, and we'll check in later about whether or not I'm going to be going that day. For the stream, more viewers are starting to filter in. The mainstream game, as interesting as a surprisingly weak Mao's team, is in the process of getting upset by Imperial, but this game starts to draw some buzz. A double overtime game is, it's pretty good. Now in double OT, M80 rack it up to 17. Lake, who in the first half was 5-8 and was saving non-stop, now has collected an ace and a triple kill in the span of 3 rounds. M80 themselves now reach match point with a perfectly timed B-pop.
One real bad one. Here comes the flood on in. Matties gets the first. Matties will stem the tide. What? And, okay, Slacks just knows to read that. Doesn't really do much to hold them off the line. Rec can still shut this all down, and that's exactly what he'll do. Rec looking to find that map point. It'll be Sin to find the final shot, but now 2 chances to close here for M80.
Is the longest game in Counter-Strike gonna end in double overtime?
I'm not a CSGO player, but
like I did kind of like in a previous video. Let's go ahead.
CSGO of all esports to me is the most fun to watch without playing. Like you can get it. I think even more than fighting games, I think Counter-Strike is actually, if you've played some shooters, you can get it, and it's a good esport. It's probably it's one of the best pure esports. They have really good commentators and they have really good camera angles in a way that most other FPS esports don't have. Rocket League is simple to understand the idea of ball into goal, but I find Rocket League, if you don't play it enough to know how good they are, a little boring. I find it to be a little boring because you can't tell the skill. I need someone to, but CS is very, very, you know, the strategy is easier to grasp, and I think it's one of the most beautiful esports. I think CS is a great esports. But I find soccer boring, yeah. So it's already.
On 18-17, a brawl ensues in B main, landing a 3v3. But critically, Fnatic make the read. They commit their entire defense onto covering the next move of M80, leaving B main vulnerable to deal with a lurk. And it works. Good mid-round play has landed Fnatic a 2v3 advantage, and they convert it cleanly with information on the next attack. The game continues with the intensity as we enter triple overtime. It is starting to get ridiculous. At this point, the B stream is overtaking the mainstream in terms of viewership. It's a nail biter to watch, and Twitter is starting to get its gears turning about the game. Guys, we're only like halfway through the game. For M80's Rec, he's in the midst of a pop-off map. He's a young gun in North America, but he typically falls off the radar often on the international stage. Well, he's at kill 34, and here's kill 35.
There's Rec. Oh, good old reliable, straight on the entry.
That essentially instantly wins the round with Lake's follow-up. A young gun puts M80 up on yet another 2-1 split from the T side. M80 pulls themselves to map point after a Slacks op adventure for the Germanican fusion. Calling it German American is just kind of boring. Maybe we just call it like NATO or the #1 economy in the world with the #3 economy in the world. So a little history. Crims has played 55,000 rounds of Counter-Strike in his playing career. A decade of top-level play.
That's crazy.
Well, it looks like he wants to play a couple more as he runs through his smoke, double entries the A site, and keeps Fnatic in the game.
Quickly, and Crims again is looking to save Fnatic. Fountain, even landed the D shot, but it's not quite.
Quad.
You gotta get tired now.
You know, there's like a ninja tweet that he tweeted out a couple years ago that was like, why don't they just hire NFL kickers to like kick field goals and never miss?
Tell him, Ninja.
And you can actually
fucking tell him, Ninja.
ask that very same question when talking about Counter-Strike. Why don't teams just like hire offers that don't miss?
Good question.
Well, M80 did because Slacks is on their team.
A little bit of shadow boxing here, and he should know where the last is. He's got a smoke and a molly. Oh, and he's got it off as well. A little celebration there, but there's not time to waste because it's full 10-second defuse. Slacks in the 1v2.
Fnatic immediately.
Crazy how long CSGO players stay in shape compared to a game like LoL. I guess League is always fucking changing. I mean, look, Faker's been a top player for a long time, but I do think it's what you said. My understanding is that a huge part of it is patches, constant patches in games like League, where your depth of, you know, one of the things that makes you a pro is your ability to read the situation, know who's going to win a fight, etc. But when it gets patches, that knowledge is out the window. It's actually holding you back. Someone new who grinds the new patch is literally better. They don't have the old muscle memory. So as long as you keep the fundamentals the same and like don't have like, that's why, you know, StarCraft players, it's like the same people for a long time, even though it's more mechanical. It's just, you know, the game doesn't get a ton of patches.
Bounce back though for, you guessed it, another 2-1 split at the side
Melee,
slot.
same thing. Melee.
Melee,
like
can
Mango's been playing forever. Hungerbox been playing forever. It's like all these old people because the game doesn't get patched.
Behalf. Look. I'm not NA biased, I swear, but it is M80 who are handing out the highlights here. At 23 all, despite being in a 4v5, M80's in-game leader is able to sell a master stroke of a round, as all of Fnatic are caught out of position.
I said NA, like North America.
By an E-box pop.
He's realizing time, but he's going to be down for the count, and now they're in so much trouble. They're completely out of position. Crims has the potential for that fast flank, and he might actually catch. He does indeed. Slacks will strike first, and now it's all on to Blame F. Running out of time, running out of chances. It's M80 on top with 24. One more round required, and they can put this.
But they just can't complete the last rep and get themselves to the magic 25.
But we seem to be destined for more rounds. We've had 48 rounds.
That's 2 maps.
But how about 49?
We're going to stalemate at 24 all. It is quintuple overtime, and we've now played 2 maps in 1. The year's 2035, and Fnatic versus M80 are still duking it out. Rek has over 10,000 kills and has entered A every single round. Blame F on the other side getting exit kills. M80 have rebranded 6 more times. Crims is still signed to Fnatic. Oh, and here's another time where Slacks forgets he can miss an op shot.
After looking for a shot, Crims very late in towards this B main, but Slacks isn't looking for it. Fortunately, Slacks, Crims will not be able to nail in the spray. 43rd kill for that man on the up, and he's all smiles.
I like how...
Right before the split, where a CT round could mean the world to Fnatic on such an attacker-sided map, are staring down M80's lowest player, who is thrown into a 1 versus 3.
It's 1v3?
Swisher has been the lowest performer of the map. He's becoming a legacy player here in North America. Back in 2020, 2021, he was touted as the future of NACS. But now he's a mainstay. He's no longer a star player. He plays the more difficult roles. It's time for him to prove his worth.
Be Swisher. It has to all be Swish. Michael Schmidt steps to the plate, knocks the first 2 out because he's got him on the spray, and the headshot to boot. 1v3, no problem here for Swish. It's the big slap for the man.
Fnatic immediately turned to the T side with some monster entries to get us to 26-26. It's now Fnatic's turn to get match point. If Swisher did not give them that breathing space, it would be over. If Fnatic win this round, it will tie the longest LAN map in CS2 history. 28-26, the Mongols versus Tyloo at Extremes Land Asia. If M80 wins, who knows how far we can go. So Fnatic are going to put it to a rush. They're going to hope the B side is weak off the rip. They're running out of ideas. You've ran every single round in your playbook at this point.
You don't have anything left.
The point where I kind of like realized like this is a really long game was kind of when we had ran all the rounds we have, maybe like 2 or 3 times, and we have also tried to create new rounds. And it was kind of like, when we thought of the solution, it was kind of like, we kind of have to go back to some of the things we have done because there's nothing else to do in this map right now.
And so in the hopes that that B side is weak, it isn't.
Another chance here. It's been a while since they've last had it, but now it's looking like Slacks on a revenge tour here. Takes out Body out of the gates. Now it tests the riflers, and they will hold strong.
Altov to force out Lake. There's no smoke for it, but he's still going to get the kill. Sacrifices his life, but it's well worth it because now Slacks on the line can put us through. We're going again. Overtime number 6. Bring it on.
Sextuple overtime. And a new LAN map record. So both teams could have won a full BO3 with the amount of rounds they've collected. And instead, it's still map 1, guys. By the way, this is still map 1.
Oh, it's map 1 of a best of 3?
Some clean rounds and are stabilizing it.
Oh, it's so miserable. I'd actually be so tired. I want to go home. I would... That's so miserable, dude. Oh, I'd be so eepy. Like, even if you win this... Oh, dude, what if it went... Does it go best of 3 all the way? I don't even tell me. But imagine you win this, then you... fucking lose the next one, have to go to the 3rd map.
Individually, as Slacks finally hits a rough patch of form. They have a 3v5 and are about to sweep the T side to give them 3 match points in what would be a death sentence in this complete nail-biter. Sin cuts down the lurk as Fnatic start a mad dash to A. But then they double back. Body has some angles into that B site. Lake, at the very last moment, came through with a devastating gamble. He tucks away at the back of the site.
Oh, no.
And as Body, the in-game leader, enters the site, he sees Swisher. In the mind of Fnatic, they had just hoped that all of M80 had rotated A. Confirmation bias clouds their thoughts. They thought that was the anchor. They thought that was the last player. They could not be more wrong.
They may not expect Lake in this corner.
No.
There's not going to be utility to clear him. Lake's going to strike for 1, 2, drops that bomb, and here it goes. No clean half for you. Afro's got to do it all, and Lake will not surrender.
M80 stop a full T-side sweep and fend off map point. There isn't even any yelling at this point. We're over 2 hours deep into map number 1, where a game typically lasts 45 minutes. Imagine if an NFL game suddenly decided to last 6 hours, because there's potentially 2 more maps. So, checking into whether or not I was going to be going to the gym, I decided that my pencil arms could wait another day. I also want to mention that despite being 58 rounds deep, these teams are still playing, you know, readable Counter-Strike. This is still an entertaining and very watchable game. And so a Masterstroke B execute on a weakened site gives M80 another map point. And so they put it over to yet another B site play. But this time, Fnatic are there with 3.
There's your E-Box prong taken down. Blame F and Afro finding success, but the site hold is good again. And they will look to continue to break records as Slacks is now left in the 1v3 looking to break this one open. One back turn, a reload for body makes him not available for the trade.
No. He's got to go. They'll double swing, and we are going again. 60 rounds was not enough. Bring on more Counter-Strike.
Welcome to the meat grinder, folks. It is 30-30. It is 7 overtime. All right, so now after our 7th 2-1 split, no one has been able to sweep a half. There's a very interesting technical pause.
Wait, what?
We have a little bit of an insight into the chat. Body asking who needs to pee. Swisher, I wreck me for past 20 rounds. Crim's
bathroom break.
Dying here.
Bathroom break.
Look, wreck bladder issues after this for sure, and we are in fact.
Everyone's got to pee and also refresh their stimulants, dude. They all got to. You can't play without Addy for this long, dude. You got to come down.
Getting a bathroom break here.
Get their
Oh my goodness, we're getting a break? I don't know what the rules are on this, folks. We've never had to do this before, but 64 rounds in, it seems like it's time for a pee break.
Yeah.
Do we take one?
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to me right now.
I'm not familiar with this as an option. It seems like we're going to get a chance to empty our bowels, come back in, new men. See you for round 65 in just a flash.
The first ever tournament-mandated bathroom break. But it is Fnatic who finally have their first set of 2 match points. M80 have begun to make oversteps, and Fnatic have been punishing them. And with that, they've also broken the CS2 round record. The round record in CS2 so far to this point was 34-30 between Rhino and Zero Tenacity. The scoreline is 33-31. It is all but guaranteed. We are now 65 rounds deep and counting, but it's up to M80 to make this even more difficult to beat. How many more rounds of Anubis would we like to play? They need to defend 2 map points on an unfavored CT side on Anubis to extend play.
Let's see it.
Before we enter this round, I actually want to let you know that Slacks has actually been playing a lot of his Counter-Strike with a medical affliction. He was born with the ability that he can't miss an op shot.
And Sin's able to collect one at the very least. Slacks back into the angle. Slacks striking with an AWP. Slacks again. Oh my God. On his back and carrying them over the line.
You've got to be kidding me. Slacks does it again. This is
out from this op. We saw the big moment from Swisher, the 1v3 to
This game is electric. Crims with 55,000 rounds of Counter-Strike to his name, and Afro with 52 kills in a 2 versus 3.
It's all onto Crims, and his knees will buckle here at the finish line. M80 keep us fighting. 66 rounds is not enough.
They're going to need to play more rounds and more kills because M80 are trying to make this record real hard to beat. They put up the defense, and we go again to overtime number 8.
Let's go!
M80 pick up their 2-1 split, as they usually do, and they've won 4 defensive rounds in a row. Somehow, a team has come alive 3 hours deep into a single match. Like in contextual sports, there's a lot of downtime. There's commercial breaks, you can sit on the bench, then come back into the game.
They've been playing like
They have been
non-stop.
playing 2 hours and 45 minutes of non-stop Counter-Strike, where every 15 seconds of freeze time is the only downtime you have. And
That's
then you're
crazy.
immediately back into game. And
High-level
immediately
Counter-Strike.
needing to focus. It is a battle of attrition, but both teams are still playing good CS. And so the Boxers get in the ring for round 70. And I think Fnatic are the first team to truly break.
Calling in the troops, but is this going to be re-aggression? Because if they do, they're going to walk into a crossfire. We'll see how effective they are breaking apart. This crossfire is body spotted as well, and Sin will knock both of them down.
M80 have now just flipped the script. They have 2 map points.
Okay.
Folks, I'm
This
going
is
to say it.
This is it.
The suspense ends here. It's done. There
Okay.
are no more overtimes.
Okay.
Let's chisel this match into Counter-Strike history.
The initiative slipping around the net. There's no way this will be expected. Afro has no idea, and it might not just be
It's
Afro
over.
in the sightlines. It's Maddie's as well. Afro
got
down.
him. Dead to
The
rights.
bomb planted for them now. No smoke to cover this off. They went for the tick, but Maddie's finds the first. The drop
1v1.
on in. It has to be
1v1.
Crims.
1v1.
And a
Crims
map
for
of
Swisher.
biblical proportions. It takes
They
a
got it.
master stroke to end, but it
Okay,
is
they did it.
M80 to put this one to rest, to finally end it. The war is over, and M80
God,
reign
that would suck to
victorious on Anubis.
That would suck to lose.
Wait. But folks, that was only map 1. Map number 2 is Inferno, and I'm going to skip a few and say it went to overtime again. The commentators and everyone is losing their mind, but luckily it is settled in 1. M80 complete the marathon. They take it 16-13 and complete a 2-0. 2 days
Nice.
later, they utterly drum their next opponent in Imperial and exit Group C as the #1
Let's
seed,
go!
as the underdog team from North America. So who knows what else will come out of M80? As they
trial
say,
by fire.
suffering builds character. Thanks for watching.
Dude, it would have been hilarious if they won that insane game 1 and then just lost map 2 and 3 like quick. You know, grind tooth and nail for fucking 1 map win. That's cool. That's cool. They won. Fire video. Cool story. I like esports stories like that. That shit's fun. Check out FICAS. Really cool. Really fucking cool. Look up the longest game in tennis ever. Isn't it that Wimbledon? Am I crazy? Wasn't it Wimbledon between Federer and Nadal or something? Like a 5-hour. I watched that live. Yeah, 2008. Eisner match, huh? Well, I mean, it's the longest finals, right? But everyone, it was a 4-hour and 48-minute match finals between Nadal and Federer. A real fucking, they call it the greatest tennis match of all time, dude. It's fucking awesome. I don't even know tennis, and I watched the whole thing. Fucking riveted. Well-edited mini history documentary. Interesting. Interesting. Let me see here. I'm looking for younger generations are now poorer than their parents, and it's changing our economies. Have boomers stolen their children's future? I would never blame the boomers for anything. The boomers are so great. We love boomers. Sports betting is ruining sports. This Chinese restaurant chain built its $9 billion empire off of customer service. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Minecraft, but I joined Parkour Civilization. Peak. Definitely got to watch that. How Amazon is trying to get rid of checkout lines. We're already pretty familiar with this, right? This is like not new news. Looking for something real fucking peak, dude. Why politicians don't care about the debt anymore. They fucking haven't for 40 years. This chocolate milk sent an entire country mad. That sounds interesting. This chocolate milk made an entire country mad. Fuck it.
Some breaking news now from New Zealand. People have been lining up outside supermarkets.
New Zealand? Security guards are on alert, and a limit of 2 bottles per customer has been put in place.
As the Lewis Road flavoured milk craze hit the South Island.
Now even showing up on a website called Trade Me for $30 a bottle.
Really? This has even led the development of a black...
They're buying $30 chalky milk in New Zealand?
...market in chocolate milk.
This is a bottle of Lewis Road Creamery milk. And this is a bottle of Lewis Road Creamery milk with Whittaker's chocolate melted into it. In 2014, this tiny container of liquid gold...
I'll be honest with you. Even though I made a joke, the second I saw that chalky milk right here, I was like, damn, I want some. Specifically, I want some right now. Like, I would, that looks fucking tasty. That looks dummy good.
Whittaker's chocolate melted into it. In 2014, this tiny container of liquid gold sent the people of New Zealand into a frenzy. This is how one small company accidentally created a product that people would do anything to get their hands on. Now, this bottle cost me $100 to have sent to Australia, so for no reason in particular, let's talk about Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon's tiny bagel-shaped beauties are like the sequel to cereal. Team, we're getting strong this year, alright? And with 13 grams of protein per serving, Magic Spoon is like eating 10 slices of ham with milk, except you don't have to eat 10. Happiness asked. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video.
Magic Spoon.
Lewis Road Creamery is a boutique Kiwi milk brand created by Peter Cullinan. New Zealand is famous for its dairy, with the frothy white liquid and its derivatives making up 3% of our GDP, which is a lot, apparently. But old Pete found himself charging down the milk aisle at his local supermarket, reaching for the superior Danish butter brand Lurpak. In that moment, he realized, why is a country known for its dairy not making quality dairy products? Soon after, Lewis Road Creamery was born, specializing in premium butter and milk.
Brilliant.
The company slowly but surely churned up a cult following. Pete's bovine business was looking for the next big thing, as he was terrified of stagnating, because that would make cheese. Whittaker's is another iconic New Zealand brand that's been making mean-ass chocolate for over 100 years.
Good.
Considering a majority of my audience is American, and you guys like chocolate that's made with stomach bile, the chocolate bar is pretty low. But I can safely say that Whittaker's is easily some of the best chocolate I've ever had. After Pete's advertising company helped Whittaker's with an ad campaign, he pitched the idea to them of having a small man chew up bars of Whittaker's chocolate and spit them into bottles of Lewis Road milk. In May of 2014, the Lewis Road Facebook page posted a proof of concept, testing the waters, or rather the milk, to gauge the public's reaction. Although this picture looks closer to Jenkem than a final product, it did produce a flurry of comments asking for this to be made reality. Oh, as well as a bunch of nerds asking them to not make sugary junk. A few months later, in September, their page shared a post teasing the final product. Cannot wait to have this against my lips. My favorite drink made with my favorite chocolate.
Who the fuck types like that, dude? To a brand page announcing their chocolate milk.
OMG, don't mess with us. Both fantastic products. A marriage made in foodie heaven. Metacritic scores began to fly in, and the excitement amongst the lactose-tolerant public began to build. On the 29th of September, it began to hit store shelves at boutique food store More Wilson's in Wellington. A day later, they were sold out. News of this glorious beverage began to spread, and their Facebook page became inundated with people who were like pedophiles but for milk, desperate to know when the drink would reach shelves near them. Tragedy struck the second delivery of chocolate milk to more Wilsons, as the truck delivering it broke down en route. In a reply to a tweet about the delivery, Twitter user Crystal said she almost felt like setting up camp in your parking lot to wait for the delivery truck. Lol. Lewis Road replied, apparently some already are. It had begun. For a second time, in less than a day, New Zealand did not got milk. At this point, Lewis Road was producing about 1,000 litres.
I'm sorry. What am I hearing? What am I hearing? Are you playing music? What does that sound? Oh. Is it messing up? It sounds like a UFO. Oh, okay, sorry. I just can't. Everyone, we can hear it. I thought I was getting an alien invasion, dude. I thought it was a ghost.
Of milk, which is only about 1,300 of their 750ml bottles, or around 3,300 of their 300ml bottles. The tiny 5-person company was blown away by the popularity of their brown milk. Their marketing budget was paper thin, with the hype being generated by word of mouth and social media. It seems quaint now, but back in 2014, brands were still trying to wrap their heads around this newfangled two-way advertising medium. Before brands like Wendy's discovered that you can convince people to have heart conditions by calling them slurs on Twitter, brands like Lewis Road were experimenting with the same core idea. Relatability. Staff would reply to Facebook and Twitter comments with genuine human responses that didn't sound like they were copy and pasted from some customer support guide. This helped prop up the idea that Lewis Road was some small, passionate grassroots startup, in stark contrast to the cold and corporate mainstream milk brands, even if this sometimes backfired. Unfortunately, no amount of cute Facebook posts could make cows squirt out their beautiful pale cow sauce any faster, and the team still struggled to meet demands. In an attempt to ease the pain of desperate customers, Lewis Road posted a link on their Facebook page to a daily list of stores that would be receiving deliveries. While they would later regret this, it at least took some of the pressure off them, even if that pressure was instead dumped on store managers, who now had to deal with a bunch of cream-craving Karens asking why the delivery isn't here yet. The public was getting desperate. Someone just took the last choc milk by Lewis Road Creamery out of my trolley while I had my back turned. Hashtag no lie. Hashtag this is ridiculous. Finally got our sticky fingers on some Lewis Road Creamery and Whittaker's chocolate milk after at least 10 empty-handed supermarket trips. Breakfast TV presenter Maddie McLean graced us with a proto-soy jack, or Milk Jack in this case, I guess. Ground zero for the milk fiasco, more Wilsons, had posted on the 17th of October
chalky milk right now.
Had begun queuing at 8 AM in preparation for the 8:15 delivery, which they then sold out of the trolley in less than 10 minutes. At the New World supermarket on Queen Street, people queued up for over an hour for their shot at some milk, only for someone to pull the fire alarm, requiring them all to evacuate. Purchase limits of 1 to 2 bottles were brought in place, with security guards supposedly being hired to enforce them. Lewis Road founder Peter Cullinane was quoted saying, "It's not fabulous to have a situation where you have to have security guards in place." Still, others dispute the authenticity of these claims. Jason Whittyheader, the operator of New World Supermarket in Freeman's Bay, claims they were a myth. It never happened. There were just staff members there making sure that people didn't take more than they should. Others believed that Lewis Road hired these milk minders as part of some 4D chess marketing scheme. Despite purchase limits and security guards defending the milk with AR-15s, it was still near impossible to get a bottle without camping out a delivery. People were getting even more desperate. And where there's desperate people, there's someone equally as desperate ready to make a buck off them. Someone snapped a picture of a store in downtown Auckland charging a blistering $30 for a 7.
I mean, upcharging in a shortage. I mean, that's classic. Of what they'll do. I thought they were gonna make a fake one, or like fill old bottles with fucking fake chocolate milk. That would be the fucking truly devious.
50ml bottle, 5 times the regular retail price.
Yeah, we need price signals.
A Reddit user posted a picture to the New Zealand subreddit claiming to have bought a counterfeit bottle of this dumb bullshit.
damn, never
While
mind.
this is a real
They did
Lewis
it.
Road bottle, it's one of their regular milk ones, not the chocolate ones. This unverified post implied that people were filling the easily obtainable milk bottles with chocolate milk in order to pass it off as the real thing. A spokeswoman for Lewis Road expressed their concern for the potential bootlegging operation. We don't support people making and selling counterfeit versions of our product,
course the health
as this
risk.
could be a potential health risk
Pre-watch,
to
yeah,
customers.
pre-watch. I
Seeing the
pre-watched all the
opportunity
videos.
to
Yeah,
turn
I
money
did.
into some more money.
You caught me.
A few of the lucky people who
planned
got
this
their
call. It's all
hands on the
script.
milk began
I'm reading a
scalping
script
it
right here.
on Facebook Marketplace and auction website TradeMe, selling serious buyers only, $30 each. Pick up on Cuba Street, mint condition. One is brand new. The other one I opened and had a little sip, but promise I didn't backwash. PM me for other details. While Brittany was most likely taking the piss, I can assure you that Mike wasn't when he put up 3 750ml bottles for $60 and sold them. Plenty more joke listings like this one with a $2,000 buy now didn't detract from the many real ones that were selling from anywhere between $25 and $30 a bottle. I should note that all of these shenanigans were happening in the North Island because Lewis Road was such a small company that they hadn't even made it to the south yet. This didn't stop 2 Christchurch dairies from smuggling some supplies over the Cook Strait. The creamery has warned it could pose a health and safety risk, as there was no guarantee the bottles were refrigerated while they were frozen.
Scarcity marketing works. I am willing to punch a New Zealander in the mouth right now for some chalky milk. Specifically this one. Even though I could make chalky milk at home, I want this one because it seems like it's special. I'm pissed I don't have it. I'm angry. And I'm willing to pay any price.
Down. It has asked both dairies to stop sourcing and selling the product. One of the dairy owners even managed to show more conviction than 6ix9ine when he refused to rat out who he got it from and how much it cost him. Folks who were desperate to try the milk by any means necessary turned to making their own.
Oh no, it's already in the sink.
This seemed easy enough, as the official ingredients were only milk, Whittaker's chocolate, and cocoa. Oh, but it's not the same, is it? People weren't just buying it to taste it. They were buying it to say they had tasted it. Now, unless you're from New Zealand, you're probably wondering what all the fuss was about. Before we look at the product itself, it's important to look at the culture surrounding it. 2014 was 17 years ago after all. Feeling old yet? Having clawed our way out of the global financial crisis, the average Joe had begun to spend again. Treats, luxury, and decadence were back on the menu. And nothing screams decadence quite like 400 calories in a $4 bottle of chocolate milk. Hipsters too played a role, as the culture of bespoke artisanal products being flaunted by fuckwits was starting to take hold, as GTA 5's poorly aged dialogue will remind you.
You are a hipster. What?
A growing culture of supporting your local instead of sending your money off to some no doubt Australian mega corporation was starting to take root. Whittaker's and now Lewis Road were both iconic Kiwi brands that New Zealanders had been enjoying for years. The quality of both was well established. You were supporting local businesses, and you felt like a fancy wee lad by buying boutique. Of course, the scarcity didn't hurt either. As we saw during that cold that went around recently, the mere mention that toilet paper could possibly maybe be sold out in the next few months or so is enough to send shoppers into a frenzy. Sugar milk is just as susceptible. And those of us who like a bit of nuts in their chocolate believe that this scarcity was artificially created, something that Peter Cullinane denies. So the shortages, hand on heart, they were not designed. They were simply a result of GVD having a small bottling plant that simply wasn't geared up for the sudden demand which came in. So, how's the actual product? It came in a sharp, minimalist bottle that evoked nostalgia for a...
I actually believe him. I think this is something that could totally happen by happenstance, especially if it's only a North Island-based small milk production. That seems very reasonable, especially in the early days of social media. That's going to go viral and just you get overwhelmed. I'm sure they leaned into it once it was fucking making a ton of money, but...
time when milk was delivered in glass bottles by men who fuck your wife while you're out working at the gelatine and racism factory. As for the milk...
Ian here, and today I'm going to talk about Lewis Road milk.
I know this has like been out 100 years now, so I'm gonna do it anyway. I haven't had this before.
I am obsessed with chocolate milk.
So, today we're taste testing Lewis Road Creamery
Oh, yeah. Bro, I want some chalky milk!
Yum. Tastes like chocolate too.
Wow, that is good. That is better than I expected. It's got that chocolate flavour.
So yeah, that tastes really nice. I wonder what the strawberry one will taste like when that comes out.
This is actually pretty good. I'd have to say from all the chocolate milks that I tried, this was the best one.
Wow. Super chocolatey and really thick.
It's not too chocolatey.
Over time, Lewis Road ramped up their production, and as the hype died down, the supply was finally able to meet demand. A year after it hit North Island shelves, the now infamous milk made its way, officially, to the south. While they still sold like cold, wet hotcakes, the creamery had learnt from their explosive launch up north, and the process, much like their milk, was a lot smoother. So, what do I think about the chocolate milk? Yeah, it's alright. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, good video. I liked it. Fun little, you know, marketing, branding, product story. That was interesting. And it made me want chocolate milk. And so because of that, I'll be ending stream post-haste. Thank you for watching Get Smarter Saturdays! Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'll raid a Spectacore. Tomorrow I will not be live, as Sunday I'm working on Marketing Monday. Monday we'll be back with a Marketing Monday. Tuesday we'll do best tweets. Wednesday we'll do the greatest speeches of all time. Thursday we'll probably play a bunch of League of Legends or something. Saturday of next week I'm canceling Get Smarter Saturday and I'm going to play Soma. I'm telling you right now, unless I'm not traveling, right? Saturday I'm canceling Get Smarter Saturdays and we will be doing an all-day playthrough of Soma. Saturday, 1 week from today. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you sincerely. I've been having a really fun time streaming in this lock-in October. Some of these nuts, dude. I'm banning you. No T1 watch party. There's a small chance that I go live at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning and watch T1. If not, I'll be in offline chat talking about it. I don't know if I'll go live because I'm going to be fucking bleary-eyed and tired. But I'll chat about it with you. Anyway, good night, good luck. See ya. Bye.